Good evening. It has come to our attention at AG Today that some people get easily confused. You want history, and we get that. Twice a month, we bring you at least 2 free history episodes on YouTube and wherever you find podcasts. In fact, you can get up to 4 more history episodes by becoming a first or second lieutenant, or as the British like to say, lieutenant, at patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg. Hint, if you're studying for the guide exam, please don't listen. I want a chance at this. Okay, this might help you. But you found yourself tuning into this show. Granted, the intellectual standards are a little less, but don't worry about it. AG Today. The operative word being today. On this show, we talk about Gettysburg today, which is also Thursday, so there you go. So that you know where to eat, sleep, tour, have fun, and whatever in Gettysburg. Don't ask about the whatever. And please don't crash into buildings. At Addressing Gettysburg, we aim to serve our audience in as many ways as humanly possible. Possibly? It says possibly right here. I can't work
I was
like
typing
this.
it quickly.
Come on. I mean,
It'll be corrected next week.
First of all, I didn't get my snacks in the green room. Now the copy is not right.
Finish it already!
This is one of them. Plus, you try talking about death and destruction 2 to 3 times a day for 2 to 3 days a week. Laugh along with us. Now, on to the show. Hit the button, Matt.
I'm the happiest girl in the whole USA.
From the Gettysburg Museum of History Studios, high atop Baltimore Street, in a maximum security facility complete with central air, it's AG Today.
Hi, this is Matthew
Stronger
Lynch.
than
I played
dirt.
First Sergeant Talbot in Band of Brothers.
Hi, this is licensed battlefield guide Paul Bailey.
Hi, I'm Dale Fetzer.
Hi, I'm John Rothman.
Hi, this is Bo Brinkman.
Hi, this is Anthony Bordner. I'm a huge fan of Addressing Gettysburg. It is the greatest and most quality podcast ever. And you're listening to it right now. God, you're so lucky.
Don't ever go on America Got Talent. You won't make it.
Did you say Abe Lincoln?
Never fight uphill, me boys. Never fight uphill.
Don't give them
3rd
fuel.
Battalion, 3rd Marine Infantry Regiment.
I could house that.
Stronger than dirt.
Addressing Gettysburg
today.
Where did this idea come from?
Veronica had a very funny joke today.
Wow.
True international effort to pressure.
Dybbuk schmibbick, I said more ham.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, August 29th, 2024, if I'm not mistaken.
The year of our Lord.
The year of our Lord. And we are here once again, as we almost always are. When our equipment is working, we are here. When it is not working, or there's a holiday, or sickness, or some catastrophe, we're not here.
True. That is
so
true.
we don't have any of that today. In fact, we have a very full house today.
We do.
And it almost makes the shed seem like it was spacious. Right? I mean,
you could go outside for a smoke easier there.
You could go outside for a smoke
Not
easier.
that I smoke, people.
You could open doors to get cross ventilation going. You can't open the windows here. They're like sealed shut.
What?
I told you, it's a maximum security facility high atop Baltimore Street. I'm not
What
kidding.
if we need to get out? What if there's a fire?
Well, then guess what? We're going to take Mike's head and we're going to try to ram it through the
Why
window.
Mike's head?
Because it's the smartest one here. That means it's got the
Nice
thickest
cover.
skull. Isn't that how
Nice
that works?
cover.
Plus, you already know I'm
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
You already know I'm going to get injured, so you might as well get it out of the way immediately.
It'll make it easier for when you have to jump out the window. You'll already be kind of dazed, and you'll be like, oh, whatever, Geronimo. Or,
I thought you were going to say pull a Mike Scott and just like throw something from the window and just yell out.
Yeah. Yes. It's been a wonderful week. I cannot wait until either this whole house hunting process is over, or my life is over. Whichever comes first, I will be welcoming with open arms.
I thought for sure you were going to say, I can't wait until it isn't this warm anymore. And I was going to be like, I win.
No, you'll never win that one.
I thought for sure.
No.
I even printed, I'll have to bring it next time, but I printed off top 10 reasons why colder months are better than warmer months.
Yeah.
For this podcast. And I do think that they are
I would like you to bring that in.
Reasons. I will.
I think you should bring that in.
Somebody text me and remind me to do that.
Mm-hmm. Give me one of them.
I honestly, I don't even remember.
Because they're not real reasons.
No, but I did it like 7 years ago.
No, they're made up reasons. They had to make them up.
No, I did them 7 years ago.
Oh, you wrote them down?
Yes.
Really? And you don't remember
special.
One reason? It's the Bethany special. You don't remember one reason?
One of them was the holiday season.
Yeah, that's the worst. That's why I can't stand the cold. What? You like that?
I love the holiday season.
Ugh.
Winter.
Yeah, it is winter, yeah.
Like sweaters. Okay, we're not having
No,
this discussion
I
again.
don't like
we're
sweaters.
We're not doing this multiple times in a row.
I like
all the hot cocoa.
You could have hot cocoa anytime during the year. You could even have iced cocoa over at the chocolate factory on Baltimore Street up here. Not the factory, the market, yes. Which is delicious.
Did you grow up in an old house?
No. Well, I mean, it was built in the 60s when we moved into it, so it was like 20 years old.
Okay.
Why?
Because it does matter if you grow up in an old house versus a new
house. Oh, no. See, we always had climate control.
Yeah, we did.
And good insulation.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see hating the heat. In fact, in our house hunts, we go into a place, and if they don't even have mini split, if we see window units,
he's such a diva. They don't have mini split.
No.
I'm
not even going into the house.
I'm old, I'm hairy, and I'm blubbery. Okay, I need cold air, please. All right. So, like I was saying, we see window units, and we just turn right around because now we're gonna have to at least put mini splits in there. Hey, I'm too old for this crap. I just want to go into a place, turn the key, and go, I'm home. Yeah, exactly. I'm home. That's what I want to do. Or at least with the air conditioning, please. And how do you have a house in 2024? That's nice, okay? And you're asking almost $500,000, $400,000 you're asking for. Okay, and you don't have central air or mini splits at the very least.
I do think that like my stepfather,
yes.
They built their house, and it's a beautiful house.
Sure.
But he was trying to
But he built it in
cheap.
1890.
No.
Yeah.
He was trying to be cheap.
Okay.
And he wasn't sure what he wanted to do, so he didn't put it in, and now he's kicking himself.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's only getting hotter.
Yes. Well, and he's getting older, and you don't have the wherewithal that you do when you're young to put up with extreme temperatures.
He also didn't realize, because at that point in time he didn't live with my mother when he made the house. When he made the house. Yeah. And so like he moved in with my mother.
Put some sugar and flour and butter together.
And he was not sure, like he was unaware of how whiny my sister and I actually are. And so when I go up there, it's like, oh my God. And then Mallory's like that too. And I think he thinks, wow, if I had just put in air conditioning, the amount of whining would be so much less now. But that was 20 years ago.
Yeah. Well, and do you have air conditioning in your house now?
At my house, yes.
Yeah. Central air?
Yes.
Okay. And so now you understand, having grown up with that myself, like how I can enjoy the weather outside or I could love or hate it because I go inside and it's exactly what I need it to be.
Yes.
Right?
And Gettysburg got hot again. So now it's like a whole.
Yeah.
We had fall, beautiful fall.
It wasn't even fall. It was better than fall. It was better than the best of fall and the best of spring for like a week.
Yes.
I don't even know.
Cooler. I'm just pointing that out that he just admitted to that. But that's
no, it was perfect. It wasn't cold. It wasn't hot. It was perfect. And that, I don't mind that.
Yeah,
No.
it was amazing. And then it got hot again. And we're supposed to have thunderstorms. So if you hear something that sounds like
thunder,
a garbage truck unloading a big, huge dumpster, it's probably thunder in
Right.
the background of this podcast.
Right.
Or
Thunder
me-
in the outhouse.
Or me falling off my chair.
Or
Mike falling out of his chair.
Mike, we're 1 week closer to the guide exam from last week.
Yeah, how you feeling?
Are you nervouser now?
No,
Nervous.
not
No.
really.
Good.
No, I mean, it's one of those cases where it's just like I'm just studying at this point. What's the point of just making yourself sick with worry?
I would love to know how many people are signed up at this point.
Oh, I would love to know that too.
2,000.
I bet you like a
2,000.
crazy
Oh,
amount
that
on
reminds
that
me.
first
I got to
day.
sign up. I haven't signed
Well,
up yet.
you've got about maybe
I think a week.
here.
The 7th, right? It's
The
up to
7th is the
7th?
cutoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That first day had to be insanity.
Oh,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
I'm over at the visitor center tomorrow. I'll walk down and ask Angie if she has a number.
I'm gonna get my guess is 7,004. That's my guess.
There's never been that many taken.
Well, there's never been 7 years between tests. This is what happens when you
I
wait
do
7
feel
years.
like Cindy and I are the only two people not taking it.
I think you guys should take it just for the hell of it, for shits and giggles.
Can Cindy and I take it together, like as a
No,
team?
they won't let you do that. No. Wouldn't it be funny if
What if
Cindy
we told
and
her
Beth
that-
took the test and they're the only ones who passed and got their license? And we're all just sitting here like, what? And they're like, how'd you do it? It's like, oh, we just listened to Addressing Gettysburg's Patreon page at patreon.com/Addressing Gettysburg.
Yeah, we
For
could
3
just
months,
be-
that's all they did. They just binged episodes for 3 months and they got the guide license. Go ahead.
We could be Siamese twins. She could be
That's
the pretty
racist.
one, and I could be the one that wasn't. And then we could just be formed
Here we
together,
go.
and then go and
Here
take
we
the test
go.
together.
Just zip those lips. Colby's back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yay!
And Colby, you missed. First of all, welcome back. It's great to have you. There you are in the back. But by the way, since we go to camera 4 or 5. I'm sorry. Let's say hello to everybody back there. Manischewitz, we have. Let's see. We got Ralph Siegel. We've got Debbie. We've got Cindy. We've got our guest Pete Monahan. And we've got Anthony's knees and Wade there, and then Colby sitting at the desk picking his nose. Hi, Colby. And
eating crowns.
You were in Montana with your lovely wife, Tay-Tay.
Yeah.
And that's where her family is. And you gone for 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
It felt like 700.
Well,
It did,
he
yeah.
also had other things to do before he was away.
Well, no, he forgot about
He
us.
forgot about us. Is
And,
basically
and
what it is.
this wasn't happening. You were on a hiatus for equipment,
We were.
so it all linked up.
Well, the day we came back, he's like, "Sorry, dude, I can't."
My cousin was in town.
My cousin was in town. I'm at Manassas, remember? Mm-hmm. And then the next week, it's like, "Sorry, dude, I'm in North Dakota on my way to
No,
Montana."
I tried. Listen, in all fairness, I did call him like 7 times that week.
He did, but I can't talk to people. No, it's just
the fame.
No, it's not the fame. It's the there's no fame. It's the stress of the
I did notice that when I'm texting you lately, your responses have been very clipped.
Yeah, I'm just done with people and thinking, and I mean I never was much on thinking, but I just I'm just done with it all.
Everything's wrong. The stress of my modern office has caused me to go into a depression. Oh, my life.
Yeah, I just am just tired.
Yeah,
of it all.
I thought for sure I'd get some smart aleck comment when I told you I wasn't going to be here on September 21st.
Yeah, I was just like, thank you for the heads
yeah,
up.
thanks for the heads up. Bye. And it was like, well,
No, I don't even have the ability to think of something smart alecky to say. I just, and the recent, let me just put it to you this way, because I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to tell the whole story, at least for another month and change or so. But
and then
he's going to release the book.
No, I won't name names then, but I'll tell you the whole story without names. But I just want to say this to everybody that listens in the audience. And I think you all know, when we have authors on and we say, this is a good book, and then you get it, and then you write back and you say, on your recommendation, I got such and such a book, and you're right, it is a good book, and everything like that, and say, you want to try this restaurant, you want to stay at this hotel, and you do it, and or we have a sponsor on, and I won't take a sponsor if I don't think they're worth knowing about. And and I think you all know that I give good advice in that regard. And so I'm just going to say this. For those of you who want to move to town, and you Google realtors, okay, I want you to pick 3 names that come up, email me, and say, do you approve of these 3 names? I'm not going to, and I'll say yes, or I'll say I approve of 1 and 3, or 2 and 3, or 2 and whatever. I'm not going to say anything more than that. But yes, there are people far more deserving of your business. That's all I'm going to say.
I got a question.
Yes.
I got a question. So is it, you know who mine was, right?
I do know who yours was. Don't say.
I'm not going to say.
Okay.
Where do they fall? Approve or disapprove?
Well, you're not, you can never say.
I won't ever say
who it was.
I won't. I mean, I'm not, why would I? I would have
Okay.
no reason to.
All right. So I'm going to say this about that. Okay.
Okay.
So
I'm going to say this about that, and then he did a sound cue. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
We should have done a gong from the Gong Show.
Anyway, the good news, the silver lining is that the offer we put in on a new place was accepted, and hopefully we'll be in there by October, and then I can.
Wait, you got to tell me what happened. Well, can you tell me what happened with the first one?
I think it's better.
I'll
to
tell you
have
at dinner.
All right.
You'll have to come to dinner.
Yeah, it's better when you can hear the whole thing.
Or if you can watch the last 2 weeks of episodes, you can catch up on the whole story.
Did you talk about it on air?
Yes, well, but not in
all of it.
Not in tremendous detail, and it has gotten worse since then because of
intrigue.
Because of.
Okay, really?
Yes.
Oh man, now I'm super interested.
Yeah.
All right.
So, so that is that. But how was your trip to Montana?
Trip was good, man. We drove with the dogs.
Oh my.
Oh no.
God, how often do you have to stop to let them do their business?
Not crazy bad. I don't know if I should admit this on air, but the vets gave us something to kind of knock them out for the drive. And
you've roofied them.
Yeah, we did.
Roofied, get it? Like
Get it, roofie.
We drugged them hard, dude. We drugged them
you.
hard. We'd wake up in the morning, we'd feed them, take them out, and have them loaded in the truck. We'd give a little piece of cheese or something, and they'd eat their medicine. and
take the medicine.
every 4 hours or so, we'd stop and get out, let them use Bathide, refill gas.
It rubs the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again.
That was pretty good, sir.
Eat the treat. Come on, Maisie. Eat the treat. All right. So,
but the drive was good, though. I mean, they were good. They weren't out of it, but they were out of it.
Yeah. How long of a drive is that?
36 hours, man.
Yeah. Now, on the way back, you're changing time zones. Is it quicker?
No, it's worse.
It's worse. Okay. You weren't here for the.
Yeah. That's for Cam. Cam would have appreciated the trip out better.
Why? That's longer.
Now you're gaining time, man. You're gaining time back. It's short. That's the shorter route.
Oh, that's right. You're going back in time as you go west.
It was only 26 hours on the way out, 36 on the way back.
A couple of years ago, Cam was stationed out in North Dakota.
Okay.
And he would call into the show every week to update us on his adventures.
Mind you, this might be the funniest thing Cam's ever said.
Yeah, and so we're asking him how everything's going, and this particular week he had the day off and he went to the Little Bighorn battlefield. And so we're like, now how long of a drive is it out there?
4 hours.
Okay, so then, I said as a joke, expecting him to go, it's the same amount of time. I said, now how long is it to drive back? And he goes,
Well, you're changing time zone, so it's a little quicker. You save an hour.
And we
he was dead serious, dude.
We all just busted out laughing, and then that became a running gag for a while.
He was dead serious about it. Like, he's like, you don't know about the time travel?
time travel's possible. Just drive west and then go back.
I'm lightheaded thinking about that. Right?
Bless his heart.
Bless his heart, indeed. Indeed. So, okay, so you go out there and you're just spending time with her family, right?
Yeah. So we are part owners of a cabin with a few different people in her family.
Oh, very nice.
I've never been invited. I just put
Yeah, we've been invited, but
it's
you'd have to put me out with the dogs.
It's elite, man. I mean, it's hard to get into that club. You know, we only got so many slots.
Now, when you say part owner of a cabin, are you talking about a timeshare?
No, we own,
okay. So this is like a legitimate business venture where you all go in on a property.
Well,
together.
So we're the only owners from our generation. Everybody else that owns it is from the generation older than us, right? So like Taylor's mom is one of them, her aunt and uncle. So the idea is for it to pass to their kids.
Yeah.
So us and her cousin and her family can share it. You know.
So okay, and then you now when I talked to you guys on the phone and you were en route, Taylor was saying that she wants to move back there.
She does eventually. I mean, it's going to be.
So does that mean you're going to get a divorce?
Because I don't want to live in the cold.
Well, and I'm not letting you go.
you might have to come. So I will say this.
Stop, guys.
Such a bromance.
Stop.
I got a little something to float in your ear, and you would only be. You would only be like 3 hours from the Little Bighorn battlefield too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but the winter.
No, but listen.
It's already raining or snowing out there.
We also own. We have 5 acres that we own out there, and Taylor's mom owns 3 more that are right next to it, and is wanting to sell those within the next 5 years.
So you're saying you're going to buy all 8?
No. I was going to say you guys could buy the next door one. And we could have a big.
What does an acre go for out there?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know what she's going to sell them for. Sell that for now. If I had to guess where it's at, because it's beautiful. I mean, it's right.
What is? Let's get down to brass tacks. How long before urban sprawl eats the area up?
It probably won't ever eat this area up.
I want to make money.
I mean,
I want to buy something that's going to.
It's growing, but it's never going to be.
You are so full of poo.
It's growing, but it's never going to be like a metropolis, right?
No,
it's but the whitefish Kalispell, that area is super growing.
The whitefish cow smell?
Kalispell.
Kalispell?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's a town.
Kalispell?
Kalispell.
Kalispell.
Yep, with a K.
Kalispell. I don't care if it's with a K or a C. I still don't know what the hell you're saying. Kalispell.
I think it's an Indian word.
Sounds Dutch to me.
Insensitive?
It's an Indian tribe.
The Kalispell?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a beautiful part of Montana.
Of what nation?
Their own nation, apparently.
Their own. Ralph, you're making these things up.
I'm looking it up.
Okay, look them up. Well, anyway, okay.
Anyways, so it's beautiful, Matt. I mean, you
know.
can see the mountains in Glacier National Park from the property.
Right.
Which is unbelievable.
Yeah. No, I would love to go out there sometime. It looks like the air smells clean.
It's huge. The air is the sky is huge
right.
too. Like it's massive.
Big sky country. That is beautiful.
So is that Flathead Lake?
Okay.
Is that Flathead Lake it's showing you there?
I don't know what the hell it is.
Yep.
Well, listen.
Flathead Lake is like glacial runoff water, so you can see down to the bottom of it. Like you could be out 70 feet deep and still see. And it's the biggest freshwater lake west of the Mississippi.
Oh
well,
my
that's
gosh,
reason enough to
gorgeous.
go.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, that is lovely. Well, not the way you're doing it.
Yeah.
Pull back. It's not an autofocus. It's I'd have to focus. It's not going to. I'd have to manually focus it on the lens, and then it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Tell her one more time.
Yeah,
I don't think she got.
Just turn it away. It's not going to work. All right, listen. We've got to take our quick break here. Our guest today is Peter Monahan. I'm looking at his notes here, and man, he's done a lot of things.
I know.
Doesn't it make you feel like a loser when we have these people on and they've got
literally every week?
It's like, look at all these accomplishments on 2 sides of a page here.
I know.
How much do you fill up, Matt?
Not even a paragraph. Matt hosts a podcast.
I think mine
That's
would be
all.
a sentence.
Huh?
She works for the Gettysburg Foundation,
Yeah.
and they don't know what to do with her. There
Matt,
you go.
Matt attended George Mason University until he dropped out. Now he does a podcast. Pete Monahan it's like, oh, I did all these special Westinghouse Corporation, Space Telescope, Science Institute, Johns Hopkins. I feel like an idiot. Beth, you're going to have to conduct this interview. I don't think I can do it.
All right.
I don't think I can do it. I'm going to be exposed as a fraud, as a loser,
as a trickster.
Yeah, but we'll have fun with that anyway. Okay, so we'll be back in a moment. Very short moment. It's a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere except for you, Mike. Get the hell out of here so Pete can come in. We'll be right back after these words.
Aren't you glad you used Dial? We are too. We'll be right back.
The Gettysburg Museum of History, located right here in the center of Gettysburg, PA. Owner and curator Eric Dorr grew up here and has spent his life collecting and preserving history through artifacts ranging from the Civil War, the Battle of Gettysburg, World War II, presidential items, pop culture, and more. His museum is free and open to visitors Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 5 p.m., where you can stop by and immerse yourself in some of the most amazing artifacts that you would never believe exist in the middle of Gettysburg. If you're a fan of Band of Brothers and Everything Easy Company, you'll love his exhibit featuring the Dick Winters collection and artifacts from D-Day. You can even own your own piece of history by buying one of the many relics they have for sale in the museum and on the website gettysburgmuseumofhistory.com. The Gettysburg Museum of History is a non-profit 501c3 organization with a foundation that allows all purchases and donations to keep the museum operating and open free of charge. They have been featured on the History Channel, the Travel Channel, the Smithsonian Channel, and the Science Channel. Now you can check them out on American Artifact, the series on the YouTube channel, The History Underground. So that's the Gettysburg Museum of History at 219 Baltimore Street or the gettysburgmuseumofhistory.com.
Gettysburg's first and premier podcast about living in and visiting Gettysburg has returned from that long commercial break. Thanks for sticking around. Here's Matt.
Thank you. Okay, so we are back now with our guest, Peter Monahan. Peter was born. Where do you think he was born, Beth?
Were you a Gettysburgian?
I was born in Gettysburg.
There you go.
I thought so. So, what you don't know about you is that
I got a really long list of accomplishments.
Okay, never mind. Shut up.
Can we?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is that there's like an era. Did you know that? There's like the Pete Monahan era.
Of what?
Of Gettysburg history.
Oh, this is interesting.
Wow.
Yeah. So like when you started, being in charge of things, there was like a changeover. There used to be. Do you remember the guy that? Oh gosh darn it!
What did he do?
Oh my God!
I don't. You got to give me a clue, and then I'll guess
Max
it.
Felty was here, and he talked about this guy
Ken,
who used to own everything.
that
he bought a lot of stuff.
Oh no,
Leroy
Smith.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there was like the Leroy Smith era.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And now there's the Pete Monahan era.
Did you know that, Pete?
I did not.
No, I didn't know that
When we
either.
talk about you, because we do, because the foundation, we do stuff in town and we talk about things. There's the Pete Monahan era now.
Didn't realize
You're
that.
so popular.
Now, Pete I mean, is it like a reign of terror? Like, what are you saying?
It could be. Could be.
Like, I mean, what are you talking about? What is the era? What defines the Pete Monahan era?
It's just like when you started like really becoming more involved in town and
It was
and
probably
owning businesses and things.
1995.
I was gonna say, it's a while ago.
Like kind of around when the Friends had been established,
Yes.
but had not really kicked into high gear yet.
Well,
It's the Pete Monahan era.
It's interesting because you graduated Gettysburg High School in 1978.
Correct.
That was the year I was born. So that means you're 46 years older than me? Is that how that math works? That can't be right.
That can't be right.
No, because you'd be 92?
Wait,
80,
what?
80.
Say what you just said.
I'm just making a math joke. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know how to do math.
So
Obviously,
this is
he's...
your camera, by the way.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What does he care?
I was just letting him know.
All right, so it was 1978, and then you go to Mount St. Mary's.
Correct.
You attended classes at Johns Hopkins University Management School.
Yes.
Just general management, or
no? It was for a master's in management.
All right. And then your career began. You did 11 years at Westinghouse.
Correct.
And what's interesting is this experience kind of plants something in your head about what to do and what not to do in hotels.
So, working for Westinghouse, it was their defense division.
Okay.
And they would build radars for the B-1 bomber, F-16, AWACS. And so I had a Department of Defense secret clearance. I had a NATO secret clearance. And so anyway, that 11 years of traveling and writing subcontracts for military parts to build the radars.
Right.
Really, I could pick now the good hotels and the bad ones.
Right.
Yeah.
But so that's going to come in handy later, though.
Yes.
Now you're a third generation hotelier. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Or hotelier?
Hotelier.
Okay. So was it your father and grandfather? Or?
No, it was my mother's mother and my mother's grandfather. So they owned a hotel on Wildwood Crest
in
New Jersey.
Yeah, all right.
Right on the shore. And they owned it for 40 couple years. And as a kid, we'd always go down there and so forth. My mother worked there, for my grandmother.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, so it's on your mother's side because your father started a funeral home.
So my dad was a World War II vet. He was in the 10th Mountain Division with Bob Dole.
Okay.
Fought two major battles over in Italy. Came back and worked for a funeral home in Philadelphia. And then decided that he'd get his license to be a funeral director. And then in 1954, moved to Gettysburg, and I was born, a couple years later.
Right.
And then he bought the funeral home in 1964.
Okay.
So 60 years ago, he purchased the funeral home, and our family has run it ever since.
And this is the one on Carlisle Street?
This is the one on Carlisle Street.
Do you also have one in Fairfield?
In Fairfield.
In Fairfield as well. Right, okay. So, but the Carlisle Street one was the first one?
That's correct.
Okay.
And the fancy one. It's the fancy one.
The neat thing about that is that's a Civil War building. It was built in 1859.
Okay.
And it has great history.
So it was only a few years old when the battle happened. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and your brother Bill runs that?
Bill and Tom.
And Tom?
Yes.
I don't think I met Tom. I know I met you, Bill, Bob. I didn't know about Tom.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you had no interest in that?
No, too many Monahans in the funeral business.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then, but where did your interest in hotels come from? Did you grow up, going to the one that your grandmother owned, or was that all before you came around?
No, it was, we did go to my grandmother's hotel, and but the real thing was, I was working for Westinghouse in Baltimore. And when I started at that division, there were 17,000 employees at that division. So 11 years later, there were 9,000 employees. And I was like, I don't want to get caught up in that mess. So I decided to come back to Gettysburg and, negotiated with the Larsons. They owned the Quality Inn, they owned General Lee's headquarters, and they owned General Lee's family restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So negotiated with them and purchased that property.
And were they like on the road to retirement?
They were on the road. They were in the early 70s.
Okay.
Wanted to retire.
Yeah.
So we
worked out a
purchased.
deal.
Yes.
Yeah. And then how long did you run that for?
Ran that for 17 years. And then I sold my share out to my brothers. And then they sold the whole entire thing out to the Battlefield Trust.
Right. Okay. And then you did something really cool. Maybe you did other things in between, but the next cool thing I know you did is you take the old Meade School and you turned it into Federal Pointe Inn.
Correct.
Okay. Super cool.
So you say that you like blending the old and the new, and I love that stuff too. Like, I think there's really something cool about either a new house with old furniture or an old house with new furniture, a new kitchen, but all like modern stuff, but there's a way to kind of blend it all together. But I know you're talking about something a lot more intricate than that. And you took an old school and made it into a hotel, but you incorporate elements of the school into the hotel. I remember a friend of mine stayed there once, and I said, "Oh, I'm going to come pick you up. I want to see what it looks like inside." And so I went to his room, and the chalkboard, I don't remember if the chalkboard was still there or it was just the ledge.
The ledge.
The ledge, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty neat. But you could also just tell from the rest of the room that you're in an old classroom.
Right.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Well, we took we left what we could of the school. It had been a school for 100 years, and then daycare, Head Start daycare for 15. And then they ran out of money, and that's when I had the bright idea in 2012 to purchase it and then, convert it from the school into the hotel.
What gave you that idea?
I wanted to stay in the hotel business,
Okay.
after selling out to my brothers.
Uh-huh.
And so, it was a great building.
Yeah.
It just needed a lot of love and a lot of money.
Mhm.
So, that's what I took, what I had made from the sale up at the Quality Inn, and then used that to fund the hotel.
And how long did that take to? And what do you do? Go to a architect, or who do you go to say, I got this school and I want to make it a hotel?
So two things happened. Number one is Gary Schaefer, who's an architect in town, loves historic buildings and repurposing them.
Oh, okay.
So he had already had the prints drawn up for the entire school.
Just on a whim, he did it one time?
He was. It was a request from, and I forget who it was. So he had the layout of the entire building, and so I went to him.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, I went to him and said, how can we put rooms in there? How can we put a restaurant and a pub in there?
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, we took the attic, which is 4,000 square feet, converted the attic into our living quarters.
Yeah,
So
you live up there.
Yeah, we do.
That's so cool. That's probably the coolest part.
Yeah. So that has up there 4,000 square feet, 17-foot ceilings. And
that must be awesome.
Yeah, it had never been
When you're
used.
ready to sell, talk to me.
My God.
I'll just pretend to be able to buy it.
We'll just go look at it.
Yeah. You're more than welcome anytime.
Okay, so you're living up there. Now, here's what I like, among many things about the place. But I've gone downstairs and eaten there a few times, and I remember the first time I went there, I was just kind of walking around looking at what you have on the walls, and you have like class pictures.
Yes.
From where do you get those?
I started out, went to the Historical Society, and they gave me a start to come in and go, well, I went to school here. Yeah, I'll give you my class picture. Or my mother went to school here. I'll give you your class picture. So 100 class pictures later.
Nice.
Then I had them framed and put it on the wall, and, really, it was really cool.
That is it is neat. It's I love to stay in a place like that where there's a sense of, there's a connection to the town or where you are, and that it's built in an old school. And you've got the class pictures of the students who once went through those halls, and you can almost like hear their annoying little laughter echoing. No. But I mean, it's a nice touch though, because those kids, I remember we were looking at them, and I forgot what year it was, but it was a while ago. I mean, they go back. What's the oldest picture you have?
The oldest picture we have is 1904.
Okay. So it was one of back there somewhere. And I remember looking at it, and I said to my friend, and this is a terribly depressing thing to think about, but I'm like, those kids are all dead.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
And but you're looking at them as little kids, and it's just sad that they got all old and wrinkled and crumpled, and
oh my God.
And like we all do, and they're gone, but not really, because they're on the wall there
forever.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty
the,
neat.
The neat thing also is along those same lines is no one smiled in the picture.
Right.
Everyone had a frown on their face.
Yeah.
You
They didn't
like
have air
that's-
conditioning.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Now, can you imagine what would have happened in that building if you hadn't done that?
Yeah, that's a great question.
You know, it could have been converted into condos or
Offices.
offices or whatever.
Was it in good condition when you got it?
No, it was in a horrible
Really?
condition. Yeah.
What were the problems?
The first thing was the sewer line that went out to the front was crushed. So you'd flush, the toilet and nothing would go out.
Oh.
So we had to dig up the front lawn, put a brand new sewer line, which was beneficial in the long run. Yeah.
Did that cause World War III?
No, it didn't. For the most part, the borough wanted something good to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, too, is I got a historic tax credit. So I went through the state and I went through the National Park Service to get a tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
So for every dollar I put into the building, 25 cents back in a tax credit.
Okay.
So that was another beneficial.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Beth, ask him how much it was built as the first high school in Gettysburg. Ask him how much it cost to build.
So it was built as the first high school in Gettysburg. How much did it cost to build?
So back in 1896,
Mm-hmm.
the school cost $20,000.
As it does, buildings back then.
Yeah.
And so the architect was from York. And he also did another building in Gettysburg, over at Gettysburg College.
Mm-hmm.
And Gladfelder Hall.
Oh, okay.
He did Gladfelder Hall and Meade School. And the unique thing about the two buildings is his signature was putting gargoyles on the building.
Oh.
So on the front of our
Yes.
building are 4 gargoyles. And the same with Gladfelder Hall at Gettysburg College.
What is the symbolism of the gargoyle?
It's to ward off evil spirits.
But they look evil.
Well, they're dogs. So
Like Satan's dogs.
they
they're
look
like devil dogs.
boxer dogs.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is that it? But don't they have wings?
No.
What am I thinking of that has wings?
Well,
There are
yeah,
gargoyles that
some
have-
do have
Some do,
wings,
but these
the
don't.
ones on ours don't.
Okay.
Just dog-looking gargoyles.
Okay. But that is a unique thing, though. To go. Imagine going to a school with gargoyles on it.
I did go to
Now the
school with
schools are so.
gargoyles
You
on
did?
it. Yeah.
Where? Oh, Clarion. Yeah.
So,
We won't mention that.
Pete.
Oh,
So when you were redoing the building,
yes.
what was
I'm
from Clarion? That's a clip of me being. Oh, he can't hear it. He's
Oh, he
on
doesn't have the
thing
headphones on. I'm sorry.
He's playing clips of me being ridiculous.
Saying
Just
that she's from
pretend.
Clarion.
Yeah.
Just-
So, what was the weirdest thing you found?
The weirdest thing. Behind every slate was a person's name, and they dated it. So a lot of the names were local names like Bigham or Wazotsky. So that was neat because we took all the slate off so people wouldn't write on it or whatever. We left everything else there, but, like the chalk seal and the outline.
Right.
Blackboard. But
What'd you do with the chalkboards?
I kept them. I still have them. We used some of them down at our pub.
Yeah, they're down.
And they're actual slate, not the whatever
No,
they
they're
had.
actually
They're actual
Wow.
slate, and they weigh
Yeah, I bet.
a million
ton.
pounds.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
though.
so that was one of the neat things.
Yeah.
So then when you say behind the slate, on the wall or on the slate itself?
No, on the wall itself.
On the wall. So they just,
Yep.
whoever
That's
put
a-
it up, like sign
Yeah,
their
signed
names.
it
Now, that's
and-
It's a
neat.
very
dated.
common practice.
Yeah.
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 Yes.
So my dad used to work for Northern York County School District, and when they redid the building that is now apartments, but it was the administration building for a long, long time, and on the top floor it was still classrooms. When my sister and I were little, and we would play school while Dad was working, because of course, why not? So when they converted that upstairs floor into offices, Dad took the chalkboards.
Huh.
So when we were making the children's museum, they were like, we should have a response wall with chalkboard. And they're like, it's too expensive and they're too heavy and da-da-da. I'm like, well, if one were happened to have a piece of chalkboard in their basement, would that work? And that's what I did with mine. So mine's in the Children's Museum. People pay big bucks for slate chalkboard.
Do they really?
Yeah. They're really neat.
Yeah.
Because you can't get them anymore.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, ours are, 120 years old.
Yeah.
So.
And they're local.
Yes.
Like, you could say it's from a local school, and that would be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Where could we put them? I'm not that I'm trying to use your chalkboards for you, but where can we put them?
Put them in my house. All right.
We're
now,
not doing that.
You also, so you've got the Federal Pointe Inn.
Correct.
And then Dunlap's is now the Federal Pointe Grill.
Correct.
And what'd you do? Buy that, or what's the deal with that?
So, May a year ago, we purchased from the Dunlaps. They want to retire, so we purchased the Dunlaps and just took it over and still maintain it. We don't do dinners there. We do breakfast and lunch, and then we do the dinners over in the hotel in the Point Pub.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
So dinners in the Point Pub, and then breakfast and lunch at the grill.
I have breakfast there once a month.
Where at Dunlap's? Yeah, I'll often go there too because there's not a lot of places in town to get breakfast. And Dunlap's Dunlap's a Federal Pointe Grill.
No, I call it Dunlap's.
Yeah, I know
too.
it's hard to break yourself into the habit.
Absolutely, yeah.
But it's good. It's a good breakfast.
It is. They have great eggs.
They do, and the staff there, they've been there forever. So you know them, and it's you go in and you say, hey, Michelle, and
Michelle's been there 25 years.
Yeah.
She was there when the Dunlap started, and continues.
Yeah, she's been there the whole, and then her sister works there too now.
Angie. Yep.
Angie. Yep. So it's nice to go in and see familiar faces and get some good food, and it's and you kind of always see somebody there too.
Every time. Every time I'm there, I see somebody I know.
Yeah. So that's a good place to go. So all right, so now you got all that, and then you're working on an antique shop
behind what used to be Dunlap's, which is now Federal Pointe Grill. There is a carriage house, an old carriage house. And we repointed the bricks and we're converting it into an antique shop.
Oh, nice.
And actually, probably tomorrow will be the first day.
Oh, no kidding. Very exciting.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, good.
So my passion is, antiques.
Now, how'd you get into that?
Grew up going to auctions.
I was going to say, he's from Gettysburg.
Yes.
What else do you do?
Oh, but everybody has a story. Yeah. It's just from Gettysburg. It's not in your blood,
Do you... No.
Wait, let him finish that.
Okay.
No, so I continue to go to auctions from childhood till today.
What is it about the auction? I had a friend who spent thousands of dollars at auction. He would never get anything substantially good. It was always boxes of crap for $5. Like it would literally say, box of crap, $5. And then he'd be like, let's see what we got. And it was never anything really interesting.
Oh, every once in a while.
A kazoo, maybe.
It's just fun to do.
Yeah.
So is that it? It's just fun to see what...
It's sometimes I go and I buy a soda and I spend the day and I call it my therapy.
Really?
Yeah. And it's I'll spend the day and not buy a thing. And then other days it's like, okay, when am I going to stop buying? So...
Yeah, your wife starts yelling at you, stop bringing this stuff home.
Yeah.
Like, where do you put everything?
Yeah, well, I have a couple storage units.
Oh, you have to have. Well, yeah, but I mean, you just put it all up there.
No, some of it's in the hotel.
Okay.
For the really good pieces.
So, like, you get a good piece of furniture, you're going to use that somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, for instance, a couple of years ago, the art director for The Godfather fell in hard times, and he had a storage unit, and the storage unit went to auction. And so I was there, and I bought a painting that was in Godfather 1.
Really?
And so, it's a prized possession. And so I got the video to watch, and I kept... glued to it, and I found it. Yeah.
And so it's like really hidden in the background.
Yeah.
It's not like, I got this painting from,
it's like, it was on the wall.
It's not part of the storyline.
No,
right.
No, it's not.
But it's there. That's cool, though. That storage unit must have gone for quite a penny. If he had a lot of stuff like that in there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did that get him whole again, or?
I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah.
If they're selling the
Hope it
storage
helped.
unit, it was the storage place selling it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so
didn't
it
get
didn't
anything
help
from
him.
that.
Oh, poor Guido.
No.
What was his name?
Oh my God.
He worked in
Anyway,
The Godfather. What do you want from me?
I don't know. But anyway, so your antique place.
Yes.
Do you specialize, like when you go out, do you specialize in certain things? Because there's some that do furniture, there's
do
some that
a
do
mix.
pop culture.
A mix. You know, I'll have rings and necklaces and furniture and just things that I like that catch my eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, are you the type of, see, my grandmother used to do this. She would go and she'd be like, I'm going to sell this in the store. And then it became hers.
The best is when my wife sees something that I'm going to sell.
Yeah.
And she goes, we can't sell that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would be me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hard because a lot of times they're one of a kind or they're hard to find. And so once you have it, it's like, oh, man, I might never see something like this again. Right?
True.
You know what I love? Oh, so, you know, we're in the process of buying a house, and the previous house we had an offer on was built in the 1800s.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were looking, you know, at antique furniture to put in there. And I saw on Facebook Marketplace an old ice box, you know, with the 3 different doors. And I remember my aunt and uncle down in Virginia, they had one in their house. And I don't know why, I just thought it was the coolest thing. It looks really cool. And all they would do is put, you know, a plant on top of it, maybe some books or something inside. But it just looks so cool. And they're very common.
Yeah,
they're way more common than I thought.
Don't bring a whole lot of money.
No, but they're nice.
Yeah, they're neat.
Yeah, they're very neat. And, you know, some of them are in really good. There was one, it was really good shape. It was like $500.
Right.
And I was like, this would be perfect for the house because it was stained the same color as the living room was and everything. But alas, we didn't get the house. So I'm glad I didn't buy that because I don't think it'll go in the house that we're getting now. But I love that stuff. And just like the old, like farm type furniture, you know, like they don't make furniture the way they used to make furniture.
They don't. And when you go to an auction, they sell for a little bit of nothing.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is astounding to me because to me that stuff is way more valuable than anything. It just, and I love when it's a little worn.
Yes.
You know, I don't want it looking perfect.
Some character.
Yeah. No, I like that. So, okay. So tell us though, what are we going to expect to see in the antique shop? What kind of antiques are we talking? All types of things?
God, yes. Dining room table.
There you go.
There you go, Sam.
Clawfoot kitchen table, old.
Oh, yeah.
A step back cupboard with the wavy glass.
Those are nice.
We should do a tour.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to come in there. So you're going to open tomorrow. What time?
I am. Probably around 10.
And are you gonna man the shop yourself?
I will, or one of my people will go over. And
one of my people.
One of my people.
I want to be one of those
know.
people.
I want to be the person who says one of my people.
Yeah, I wish I was one of those people.
All right, we'll switch places then. You could be one of my people.
Well, you can't go tomorrow.
Why?
Because I work tomorrow.
I feel like something else is going. Oh, I have to go. I have a video shoot. Oh no, but that's only in the morning. I can go in the afternoon.
No. Again, you misunderstand what I'm saying. You can't go tomorrow because I work tomorrow and I want to go too.
Oh, I understand. Are you going to be open during the weekend?
Yes, we will.
All right. Are you doing anything over the weekend? We can all go.
I mean, I can go during the day.
Okay. Well, then we'll go and do during the weekend then. Okay. Saturday. I think we'll check with Cindy. See what the schedule is.
He doesn't know his own schedule anymore.
No, I don't.
It's pretty pathetic.
It is. Now, what's not pathetic is all the stuff that Pete has going on with Federal Pointe. Federal Pointe Inn, Federal Pointe Grill, and are you calling it
Federal Pointe Antiques?
Antiques?
Yes.
Okay. So we got a theme.
Smart.
We do.
Of Federal Pointe.
So, and the great thing is, it's all on one block.
Yeah.
And so I have the entire block.
Right. That's true. You can park in one spot and walk to all 3 places.
You can, absolutely.
Yeah. You can stay at the hotel, have your breakfast and lunch at the grill, go antique shopping, then go to the battlefield, come back for dinner at the pub.
That's correct.
And
It's all one-stop shop.
You save so much in gas,
Post
except for your
office
trip
is
to
right
the
across the
battlefield.
street.
But you can walk. Yeah, you mail a letter right across the street.
Postcard.
And then you can go up to the Seminary Museum all by foot.
Oh,
you
my
don't
gosh,
even have to
yeah,
drive. You can walk up
absolutely.
to the Seminary Ridge Museum and Education Center, and you can look at the battlefield.
Now, since you're right there,
Yes.
that shopping center.
Is owned by someone in northern Jersey.
Oh, those are the worst people.
Can you try to find that out?
Why? What do you want to buy it?
No, but can you imagine?
Oh,
him
if he
doing
could,
that
if he could
and
get
then,
that and then
sprucing it up and everything.
turn it into what would you do with that? It couldn't be a shopping center. You got to do something like tear it down.
It needs something
and put
It's-
something
it's
else
old.
there. It is old.
I can remember it was a grocery store when I was growing up, an Acme grocery
Really?
store. Yeah.
There you can have a grocery store, Federal Pointe Grocery.
Kenny's is right there.
Well, the Federal Pointe General Store, and have it be more.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you would do.
I don't know
because
either.
you can't. The novelty of a general store not having modern things, that wouldn't work. Because who's going to want to buy old? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
We'll think about it. We'll get back to you on what you could do with that. But yeah.
So, in Clarion, they have general stores in surrounding area. I'll send you some pictures.
Okay.
I have a great idea. You could totally do this. What?
No, I was looking at the eyes you were making was psychotic. Yeah, you were like,
Send me the picture.
Okay, you could totally make the coolest little general store. Oh my
Yeah.
God, what a great idea. Let's do it. I can't give you any
Well,
money for
you know-
it. I have $1.50 to my name, but I've got great ideas.
What'd you say? I know, they're crazy eyes.
Yeah, you dug something out there.
I know. Thanks,
it's
Beth.
not that bad.
Good job.
Thanks.
All right, now, the hotel
Yes.
is, I hear a lot of good things about it. Like I said, my friend stayed there. He really liked it. There's some people that were actually commenting here that they've stayed there as well, and they find it to be a very enjoyable place to stay. And you've also had some pretty famous people
Yes.
come in there. Oh, these buddies of yours, or they just
Not
accidentally
really.
show up?
Like Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees.
Right.
And then we've had Roger Ailes.
Fox
who
News
was
guy.
Fox News guy.
Mhm.
And that was the best story of all. So he shows up. We didn't know he was coming with his chauffeur and his 15-year-old son. And that was in 2015.
Okay.
And when Trump was running for, the presidency.
Mhm.
And so Megyn Kelly had done an interview with Trump and just raked him over the coals.
Oh, yeah.
So Roger Ailes comes the next day. He's in our lobby. His phone rings. It's Donald J. Trump.
Really?
Yeah, just saying, how could she
Fire
do
Megyn
this?
Kelly.
Yeah,
She's the
absolutely.
worst.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he goes.
I thought we were friends.
Roger Ailes says to Trump, so I'm here with my son. We're on vacation. Don't bother me.
Wow.
And so he goes, let me talk to your son. I want to talk to the kid's 15
Yeah.
years old.
Tell your father, fire Megyn Kelly.
So Roger Ailes hangs up.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So that was in our lobby.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you mark it with a plaque where that was?
Oh my God, I know exactly
Yeah.
where it was. So it was good.
So that's pretty
Yeah,
interesting, though.
So that was fun.
So, but then Mickey, I know that he knows
Yes,
Eric
through
Yeah.
Cheryl and Eric Dorr.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So he stays there, I guess, when he comes to town. Does he come to town often?
Yeah, not a whole lot. You know,
Okay.
not a whole lot.
I've yet to meet him. I
Yeah.
used to love watching the
Mickey Dolan?
Monkees
Oh
in
my God.
reruns when I
Mickey
was a
was
kid.
great.
Yeah.
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 And
Love
he's
that.
the last surviving
last
monkey.
one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You know,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
went on tour with Peter Tork, and then Peter died,
Yeah.
and then he went on tour with Mike.
And then Mike
Nesbitt,
died. Yeah.
and Mike died.
I know.
Don't go on
Not-
tour.
Don't go on tour with Mickey, but Mickey's
Yeah.
the last one.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Yeah, moral of that story.
You know, I just like last week or whatever week that was when we had Shining Stars on. You know, there was a joke that I was like, no, that would be in poor taste. I'm not going to make it. And then Beth swoops right in and makes the joke. And I think it works better because it's less offensive when it comes from your mouth.
I am just an angel sent from the Lord.
But really, though, I mean, it does sound like it's bad luck to go on tour.
Yeah.
Mary McDonnell, who was in Dance with Wolves.
She was nominated for Academy Award for that movie with Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
So,
she was very good.
Yeah, she was great.
And she came to Federal Pointe Inn?
She came and stayed, and then she came down to our pub with her husband. And our bartender they didn't recognize her at the front desk. The bartender said he looked familiar. And it was.
And she called him Lieutenant.
Yeah.
Because that's from the movie.
Yes.
Okay.
I've never seen this movie.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Dances with Wolves.
Mm-mm.
Okay. That's crazy. And now, have you seen... You've seen Dances with Wolves,
Yes,
of course.
I have.
Right? You like it?
Yes.
How about Horizon? Have you seen Horizon?
I have not.
So Colby and I went and saw
Run,
Colby.
Pete, run.
Yeah, I'm
Run.
here.
All right,
here.
so we went and saw Horizon before we came back from the show. So we haven't.
Oh, we haven't talked about it.
No.
Well, we talked about it a
So
little
would you recommend Pico see Horizon?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. And
Really?
that hurts
Did you think it was that bad?
It hurts my heart to say that, but no. We want to. Are we gonna like get into this?
No.
Okay.
I'm just. We can get into it
Well,
later.
Pete,
I
I'll
don't want to
tell
waste
you.
the man's
This is
time.
this is my quick
He's
reason.
hungry.
This is my quick 5-second reason why.
Go ahead.
He can't hear you.
No, I can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He tried to tie too many stories into one story. You by the end of the movie, I know there's a second part, but by the end of the movie, you still feel like you don't really know what's going on. You
Right.
don't really know the characters.
Right.
Like nothing. I mean, I don't want to spoil. Kevin Costner's only in like 10 minutes of the movie.
Well, but he's the hero, and we had to, build the world around the hero, and we've introduced the hero, and now the hero starts kicking butt.
They spent too much time building.
I know.
Building the world.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
We both walked out of that movie like, oh.
I know. The first thing I said was, it's bad when I could make a better Western than Kevin Costner.
I don't know what happened.
For half the money. Give me half the money. I will make a better Western than Kevin Costner just did there. And he makes good Westerns.
He does. I don't get it.
That's what broke my heart. But
It's like
here's the
Open
thing.
Range was great.
I would go see it anyway. Don't listen to us because you know what it is? It's on streaming now. So you don't even need to go to the theater. It's on everything. HBO, Amazon, whatever. Watch it there. See what you think about it. And remember, it's setting up a 4-part series. So you got to give it time to breathe. But it
Report back.
Yeah, it did have me worried. I would just say, go ahead and watch it in case Kevin Costner ever comes and stays at the hotel. And
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
I hear he's nice.
So I have a standing order at the visitor center that if anyone famous comes in, I require a text message.
Okay.
Which I do get, which is fantastic. So whenever anyone famous comes in, I'll give you my number. Just text me. I won't be weird, I promise. I just like
Isn't
to
that
know.
some kind of violation of doctor-patient confidentiality or something like that?
There is no doctor-patient confidentiality.
Not with a hotel.
Yeah.
Hotel patient confidentiality.
It's
There's
just
no
good
such
to know when myself, because I come up to them going, "Hey, how are you?" And I think I must know them from somewhere around town.
Yeah.
No, they're famous.
I met Paul Giamatti once out in front of Kilwins.
Did you really?
Yeah. I was walking past him and I recognized his voice. As he walked past me, he said something to his son. And I go, man, that sounds like Paul Giamatti. And I turned around and it was him, but he had a beard. And I just reflexively went, Mr. Giamatti. And he went, yes. And I was like, I'm just a fan of your work. Welcome to Gettysburg. And then I went inside to Kilwins like, I just said hi to Paul Giamatti. But that was cool. You never know who you're going to see here.
You don't.
And that's what's cool about living here is it's a national shrine, but it's an internationally known place. And everybody has heard of it. And everybody, if they get the chance, wants to. Remember years ago, the King of Jordan rode his motorcycle through and went to the Harley dealership?
I didn't know that.
That was somewhere between 2005 and 2010 when I first lived here. So I don't remember what year exactly. But yeah, everybody's like, the King of Jordan's down at the Harley dealership. And I'm like, who? But apparently he was a big fan. Oh, America!
Yeah, I think he married an American, and
that's right.
That one was from Jersey, I think.
Jersey
went
girl.
to Princeton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. There's always someone that's here. That Sissy Spacek was here during that time as well.
Well, in the last
Saw her in
election,
an
all
antique
those
shop.
guys came
Well, we've had
Trump and
we've
Biden.
had Stephen Lang, who's here
Sure.
all the time,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
and Glenn Beck.
Slang, as we call him.
Slang.
Slang.
Yeah. Yeah, Glenn Beck, I remember Sarah Palin drove through on the Palin Express or whatever her bus was called.
I'm pretty sure Sue Boardman gave Bernie Sanders his tour of the battlefield.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Sue.
Oh, that's funny.
Can you imagine the two of them together?
Oh, my God.
I remember somebody told me they gave a tour to, not Dean Koontz, who's the other guy? Other author like that.
John Grisham.
John Grisham.
Wow.
And he donated money for, I think, the 11th Mississippi Monument, if I'm not mistaken. Is he from Mississippi?
I don't know that.
Google that, please. But I think that's
Debbie,
true.
get on
I
it.
think that's true that he's the one that donated money to it, and not entirely, but somebody. There's always somebody interesting here.
Well, one of the neat things too is back when we had the Quality Inn, the Eisenhower, Ike had stayed there before we owned it, but when the Larsons owned it, he had stayed there.
Really?
And then George Patton had stayed there.
So
And
wait, how old was that place?
Sure, the place was from, I want to say, the 30s. They had cabins
it was
at one
old.
time.
Yeah.
And then they built, the motel part of it in the 40s. So, and then George C. Scott had stayed there, and Dukes of Hazzard, Snyder.
John Snyder?
John Snyder
Yeah.
stayed there, when I was there. And some other people. But
So
it's cool.
So Eisenhower stayed there, I'm assuming, before he bought the farm.
Yes.
I mean, not when he died, but before he bought the Eisenhower farm. And then Patton, so that had to be West Point days, or when was Patton?
Yeah, he was testing out tanks and with rubber treads.
Okay.
It came through Gettysburg, and
So it was later. It wasn't Camp Colt, or it was what? After World War One. Yeah. Okay, so between the World Wars. Yeah. He wasn't General Patton.
Right.
Yeah. But still.
He
it's
was
Patton.
Colonel Patton.
He was Patton.
He was Patton. So that's interesting that I didn't realize that place went that far back.
Yeah, I didn't.
it did.
To cabins.
No,
Yeah.
the other Quality Inn has one of those little cabins. Is that from yours?
It does not. It was from theirs.
Did the Larsons own both?
No, they didn't. The Witts, Paul Witt,
Yeah.
and his father had owned that, and they had cabins.
Okay.
And so very similar.
So cute.
Very similar to the cabins that the Larsons had.
Well, yeah, and there were cabins, I think, up by the Buford statue, or was that a gas station?
That I don't know. That's
There
a good
was a
question. I
Peace
remember
Light
the
Motel.
museum up there.
Sheeds.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There was a museum.
There was the Peace Light Motel.
Oh,
which was
yeah,
up
there was
closer
the Peace
to
Light.
Thomas
Light
Burke
Inn.
Road.
Yeah.
We used to go there growing up. It had a restaurant.
Yeah.
And then behind it, you're absolutely right, it had cabins.
Okay.
It was directly across from the Peace Light Memorial.
What was that like growing up in Gettysburg? Because I grew up in New Jersey, but I couldn't wait to get out of it, and I fell in love with this place on a field trip, and I live here now and I love it. But growing up here, especially pre the way everything is today,
Right.
had to be awesome.
Oh, it was great. I mean, like, for instance, we grew up above the funeral home.
Yeah.
So, when there was funerals or viewings, we couldn't make a sound. We couldn't even flush the toilet.
Right.
And then, we would leave in the morning, and then we wouldn't come back till it started to get dark. But there was a junkyard in the middle of Gettysburg behind the funeral home. And,
Okay. Where that big
now
empty
it's-
lot is?
Now it's senior housing.
Okay.
Where that used to be a junkyard.
Yeah.
And crushed cars and newspapers and so forth.
No kidding.
And we used to play in that all day. Yeah.
Oh, well, the imagination could go wild
Yeah,
in a
it's
place
really
like that.
cool.
Yeah. So where was that your favorite place to play as a kid, like a
Yes.
little kid? Because it was like right behind your house.
Exactly. Yes.
As you get older, what do you do? Where do you hang out then?
Oh God, Tommy's Pizza. It used to be where the train station is on North Washington Street.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And so, on a Friday or Saturday night, everyone used to, hang out at Tommy's Pizza.
Right.
Then it has since moved out to Steinway.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the things.
So you'd go to Tommy's.
And just hang out right around the car.
Just go, like in American Graffiti, just go
Yeah.
cruising and yelling out the window at people.
Where do kids hang out now? Like, where's the
They're
thing?
on their, they're on their phone.
They're in the basement on their phones.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they're all in the same room with each other.
It's not like, I don't know if I've ever seen a group of the high school kids hanging out somewhere in town.
Well, you don't live in town. So
No,
like
but
after hours.
I'm around, like.
Yeah, I've seen. Well, so I lived by the college for a while, and they're all in their gangs, but like
But the high school kids.
I mean, I saw 3 high school kids.
3?
No, but they were together, and they were riding their bikes down Chambersburg Street, just right in the middle of Chambersburg Street, disregarding like people coming in both directions. And one kid, now they're on. Bikes with, the big wheels, the thin tires, like hybrid bikes. They're like not street bikes, but they're not mountain bikes, And this one kid thought he was being cool. And right in front of the church, he goes to pop up on the curb, but he doesn't really have the angle right. And he doesn't have the wheels for it. And he just goes right over and tumbles on the sidewalk. And I'm walking down the street, and I saw them come and ride in like a bunch of jerks. And I saw that, and I couldn't help myself. I just busted out laughing, and I couldn't stifle it. But the lady behind me also joined me because she thought the same thing. Like, you kind of got what you deserved,
Yeah.
And it's always nice to see someone get their comeuppance. But, you don't see a lot of kids playing around here.
You don't.
And I remember we did a tour once with Dean Schultz, and we were just peppering him with all different types of questions. And somebody asked him, what was it like growing up here when you were a kid? And he would tell us all these stories and stuff. And he said he was just talking about, drinking on Big Round Top and, just all these things that you would be like, oh my God, like you couldn't even, it's abhorrent to think of doing these things. And I think he said something like, if you went metal detecting down around Big Round Top, you'd mostly pull up my old beer cans. Like, it's like you'll take a while before you get to the bullets,
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, but I've met other people who tell of drinking at Devil's Den and high school and, sneaking around. And it was always an adventure. And then, like, if the Rangers caught you, it was kind of like a game. They'd be like, all right, go home, guys. It wasn't like, then now they just string you up. Like,
well, stuff still happens at at Devil's Den.
Oh, I'm sure it does.
We did a brush clearing there a couple years ago and pulled out several pairs of men's underwear.
What?
Yeah.
So what do you think is happening
at Devil's Den?
Yeah, really? What is going on at Devil's Den?
Yeah. It was quite entertaining. I had a group of volunteers out there, and they were like clearing the weeds and stuff, and then all of a sudden he's like,
oh, but Cindy, now we know where those missing pair of underwear are.
Oh, this was way before you and Cindy were together.
Good. All right, well, listen. The antique shop, Federal Pointe Antiques Co., is opening tomorrow.
Yes.
And it'll be open all weekend. Is that a 7-day-a-week thing, or?
Initially, I'm going to try to do weekends and upon request.
Okay.
So we'll have a sign there that call us up. We'll come over, open it up.
Okay.
But, a couple days a week.
Yeah, it's not like you're far away.
No.
The Federal Pointe Grill is open 7 days a week, serving breakfast 7 to 11 a.m. and then lunch 11 to 2. And they are serious about that. I went in there once at
ready to
at 10:59, and they're like, "Sorry, it's."
See, what happens is they clean the grills,
right?
And because there are the eggs on the grill and the whole bed, and they clean the grill to get ready for the lunch,
right?
And they don't want to cross contaminate.
Yeah.
So
I do have one bone to pick.
Oh,
go ahead.
Sourdough bread, toast, sourdough.
Get it or
for breakfast? Just saying.
You want it?
Multiple people ask while I'm there. Just saying.
So,
well, she's but full disclosure, she's part of the Sourdough Bread Lovers Club, so they're a little biased when they go there. But you can get it from Gettysburg Baking Company. They have wonderful sourdough bread.
We get, or bagels are made fresh by the Ragged Edge.
Oh, yeah?
So Jake supplies.
I didn't know
bagels.
he makes bagels.
Yeah, New York style bagels.
Really?
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're
Awesome.
kidding.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
Really
have you
good.
been?
Not eating his bagels. Clearly. All right, that's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing too is we just formulated one of the famous Texas hot dogs.
Okay.
That one time was served here in Gettysburg.
Good,
and
Ernie's.
So and so anyway we have one that is comparable.
Okay, good.
So yeah, with the works.
All right.
The chili, the mustard, the onions, everything.
Okay, sourdough bread.
Sourdough bread.
Okay, got it. Just got to do that. And then, of course, the Federal Pointe Inn and Pub,
Yes.
all in the same building.
Yes.
Very much worth your time, ladies
Highly
and gentlemen. Really, truly, it is a beautiful place. And if you like repurposed buildings, which I do too, I've always wanted to get like a little red schoolhouse and live in it. You know, those are cool. I knew somebody who did that, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Well, as a matter of fact, we, my wife and I, 4 years ago, purchased a post office in South Jersey.
Really?
Near Avalon,
Okay.
Cape
yeah.
May.
Yeah.
And we repurposed it.
That's awesome.
So,
what do you go and stay there, or is it like an Airbnb?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Stay there. It's an 1850s post office.
That's so cool.
And so that's fun.
We just need to hang out with you more often.
Hey, come to Federal Pointe Pub.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that. We're going to have to go there. What time does that close?
That closes at 10 o'clock.
We should go there for dinner instead of going to places that say we're closed.
Yes.
They're open till 10 o'clock.
So the
what time does the kitchen close?
The kitchen closes at 9.
See?
Why does everybody close so early? Is it because nobody goes anywhere after 8?
Yeah,
Probably,
I guess. Well, it's about, people coming to the...
You need money. You can't just
Well,
have
if
people...
we are really quick
Yeah.
with the news.
All right, well, that's up to you ladies. Well, really, it's up to Ralph, because Ralph, I asked him to give me 5 pieces of advice.
There's some great things like cannolis that we'll make for you or creme brulee.
Oh, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Do you do a skillet cookie?
We do.
Really?
That's
do you
the
come up with the
chocolate chip
menu?
cookie.
Yeah.
What's that?
Do you come up with the menu, or who?
You know what? I test everything. So it's like, okay, if I don't like it, more than likely it wouldn't be on there.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's everything meets with your seal of approval.
Everything.
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, maybe if we can ever finish a show early, we can get there before the kitchen closes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll send Mike over to get a table.
Or the other
with our
thing
orders.
is call us, and I'll keep it up for you.
Oh, you don't have to
you're
do
so
that.
sweet.
I'll do it. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, do we want to go there tonight, everybody? Should we tell them to keep it open? Because
We're going
we're not
there
going to be
tonight.
done on time. I guarantee you. Oh, we'll give you a little more notice than just now. Yeah. Well, you know what we'll do is we'll decide ahead of time that we want to go, and then we'll say, hey, we might be late tonight. Can you stay open a little later?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. We'll do that.
And we'll order ahead.
Yes.
That way you know what to make.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Good idea. Is the menu online?
It is.
People can check out the menu online. All right. Very good. All right. So, Pete, thank you very much for coming
You're
on.
welcome.
This has been wonderful.
This has really
Thank
been
you.
nice. And
Thank
ladies and
you.
gentlemen, don't forget Federal Pointe Inn, Pub, Grill, Antiques Company. Definitely worth your time and visit and money when you come to Gettysburg. We'll be right back after these words.
Craving a Hot Pocket or a bag of popcorn? Now's the time to go and get it. We'll be right back.
Want the freshest cup of coffee in Gettysburg? Then visit Bantam Roasters, formerly 82 Cafe at 82 Steinway Avenue. They roast all of their coffee in-house, and they have a full coffee bar to keep you caffeinated during your trip. Visit them at www.raggededgerc.com for their menu and shipping options for all of their freshly roasted coffee. Use promo code Hancock for 10% off your order in the cafe.
Enjoy historical stories on the History Fix platform. Explore movies, short films, and documentaries. Addressing Gettysburg podcast fans receive an extra $5 off the first year's annual subscription. Sign up at historyfix.com and use promo code Gettysburg. Every subscription includes a 7-day risk-free trial. Escape into history with History Fix.
This episode of Addressing Gettysburg is brought to you in part By me, audiobook narrator Mike Scott. Narrator of Savis Beattie's Bloody Autumn, the Shenandoah Valley Campaign of 1864, and Unlike Anything That Ever Floated, the Monitor and Virginia and the Battle of Hampton Roads. If you are an author or publisher interested in having your titles produced as audiobooks, or even just in learning more about the process, give me a shout. You can find my contact info on my website, MikeScottVoice.com. That's MikeScottVoice.com.
The 1863 civilians of Gettysburg were reluctant witnesses to the Great Battle. Join Ken Rich, the man in the red shirt, for his historic town walking tours. You could book these tours by emailing ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. That's ken@gettysburgtownhistory.com. And when you're in town, look for the guy in the red shirt. And Civil War Trails. It's the world's largest open-air museum, and they offer over 1,300 sites across 6 states. Drive the Gettysburg campaign turn by turn, paddle to Frederick Douglass's birthplace, or hike to remote earthworks and artillery positions. Visit civilwartrails.org to request a brochure and explore their interactive map. Follow Civil War Trails and create some history of your own.
You're listening to the Addressing Gettysburg podcast with Matt Callery.
That's the best.
We're back.
That's not what I wanted. Is it Count Basie or is it the Walk-Tallers? It's the Walk-Tallers. Wings and trivia, ladies and gentlemen. We have information, I believe. Okay? Wings and trivia. Again, like I told you the other night, or the other day, or the last couple weeks, it's September 21st at 6:30 p.m. That's a Saturday. It's at the United Lutheran Seminary Refectory, 148 Seminary Ridge. Who? You and your team of up to 6 players. Now, is the AG team going to return?
I think so.
All right, and are we going to be any good this time?
We were amazing last time.
Were we, Colby?
We kicked butt.
We were the best team there. We're the only team that gave the right answer on the last question.
Right, but you lost nonetheless.
Due to poor research by the question asker.
First of all,
who had a game?
An outdated game.
Yeah, from Trivial Pursuit from 1872.
They couldn't even deign to Google it. They just whatever the card said. Like it was.
We're history people. We're not science people. Please, thank you, Ralph the Clapper. All right, so listen. It's $30 a person, includes wings, mac and cheese, and more, provided by the Ragged Edge Catering. Biob, ladies and gentlemen, Biob. That means bring your own booze. Okay, so you got to bring your own booze. But Jake over at the Ragged Edge is making wings this time. What? Oh, I'll ask him if you know what. We'll go to Rofo and get you some boneless wings. Okay.
Nah, she got to eat the cartilage.
You got to suck suck the marrow out.
Oh my god.
Get a little crunchiness.
They're fabulous.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it sounds like when you chew cartilage.
Anyway, sign up online, seminaryridgemuseum.org, or you can call 717-339-1300, 717-339-1300. And you know, I have to say, we had a lot of fun last time.
We did. That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and it was a great mix of people that were there. I saw Addressing Gettysburg people. I saw people I didn't know, so I'm assuming they were seminary people, and it was fun. We didn't get in any fights. We got along with each other. We laughed. We cried. There was some crying. And there was some,
I didn't think we were going to talk about when you stubbed your toe.
I was talking about when you lost because you answered the question stupidly. SeminaryRidgeMuseum.org or 717-339-13-HONEY.
What's that?
When you're dragging ass out of bed, the hairs must up on your head. You picture the 20th Maine, and you're happy once again. Fight the battle against being slow with Little Ground Top Row.
Yeah, baby. Little Ground Top is Addressing Gettysburg's first coffee, and it's not going to be our last, I'll tell you that much. but it is our
It
first.
shouldn't be.
It's not going to be. We're proud to team up with our buddies over at Bantam Roasters.
Just need Colby to name them all.
To bring you, I know.
Basically, I'm Steve Jobs.
I got a couple of. You're right. Bethany almost did a spit take right into my brand new camera.
It was too.
She was this close to having no more friends in this building. Huh?
We are proud. We are proud, like I said, to team up with Bantam Roasters to bring you this medium blend with notes of cacao, wildflowers, and toasted sugar. Of course, you all know I detect a little black pepper, but that's just me. Nobody else seems to agree with me.
Hints of oak.
Hints of oak, black pepper, and turpentine. Get your bag in whole bean or grounded to your coffee making specifications. Find out for yourself why Bantam Roasters can't keep Little Ground Top on the shelves and are inundated with online orders each week. No exaggeration. They can't keep them on the shelves. They put 12 bags out every week. They're gone by Friday usually. And then they're getting dozens of online orders every week as
That's
well,
awesome.
because our audience is the greatest in the world. That's right, and they're addicted to coffee. Wait until we open the Addressing Gettysburg weed store. You'll see how rich we get there.
Hey, you should have a strand called Devil's Den.
There you
bro.
go. I love it. Find out for yourself why Bantam Roasters can't keep it on the shelves. Like I said, go to addressinggettysburg.com/cafe or stop in at Bantam Roasters at 82 Cafe in Gettysburg. Fight the battle against being slow with Little Ground Top.
Bro.
Is it bro or yo?
It's bra.
You give a little bra there at the end?
Hey, the studio line costs us money, so use it. Call 717-420-1978 to join the discussion, ask a question or whatever.
I gotta change that.
Just stop us from wasting money on the damn phone line. Oh, we're back.
I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting. All right, so we have with us Ralph Siegel, world-renowned licensed battlefield guide.
I brought my dinner.
He brought his dinner. What did you bring for dinner, Ralph?
Red, green.
Chuckles. My father loved Chuckles.
And I'm probably his age.
You are, yeah.
What is Chuckles?
80,
I've never
82?
You just stick with your sourdough bread, okay?
Listen.
Good.
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of Chuckles?
No.
It's like, what would you compare those to?
Isn't it a laugh?
It'll make you laugh.
Chuckles, what do you compare them to? Those drugs that they had out in California that gave you instant diabetes when you took one, that's what Chuckles are.
What is that drug that you're talking about?
I don't know, some fentanyl type thing.
Oh,
You took
that's
it
instant death.
And you were like, immediately had diabetes or something because it broke your kidneys, or I don't know.
I was not aware of that.
Well, I was not either.
Yes.
They're multicolored chocolate balls.
They're chocolate?
They're not chocolate.
No,
they're like
jelly. Jelly, I'm sorry.
Jelly, yeah.
The colors have no bearing on anything. They're just colors.
It's just sugar. It's just gelatinous sugar. And it's
so like
it's
orange
like
slices without the orange.
Yeah,
flavor?
kind of. It's along the lines of jujubes or orange slices or sort of not quite like Swedish fish.
The previous guest is trying to talk about the Texas lunch hot dog.
And you bring Chuckles.
And you interrupted him and started in about sourdough bread.
It was more important to me.
Sourdough. We should have sourdough bread.
Yeah.
You know, sourdough bread, what's good about sourdough bread is if it's in the dough form and you throw it at someone and hit them in the face, it hurts more than normal bread. That's the only use for sourdough bread.
Listen, Ralph, we're going to have to agree to disagree.
And it really does hurt.
I think if you do a low carb or no carb diet, sourdough bread is the only bread you can have, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think you're allowed to have any bread at all.
I didn't think you're supposed
as well as Chuckles. You can't have Chuckles.
Well, you definitely can't have Chuckles.
No,
do you want one?
No.
Which color do you want?
I don't want any of them. I don't want instant diabetes.
No, you're not going to get instant
You want the
diabetes.
yellow one?
Yours
No,
will
I
take
don't
years.
Any of them, Ralph.
The yellow one protects
Go
against
and camera,
diabetes. Anyway, Chuckles are really delicious. I haven't had them. I thought they stopped making them. Where do you find them?
At the candy store. My
Sweet.
favorite store in the
on the corner there?
Yeah, they have everything.
Yeah, they do have everything.
It's
Where do
great.
they get all that stuff? Because some of those things I thought were discontinued. Sen. The
Some
mint.
of them
Sen.
it could be antique shops. I don't know where they get them from.
I took a fresh pack of Luckies and a mint called Sen. Like that was like the 50s, man. And it tastes like licorice. It's disgusting. Why would you freshen your breath with licorice?
Why would you put I don't know.
I am so confused right now. But
All right, listen. So we got Ralph on the show.
We do.
Ralph.
I never was familiar with the show till I was listening to your Peter Carmichael episode.
Is that true?
Yeah, Thursday night. I don't know, life things.
You got
and
things
I've
going
never,
on.
Yeah, and
we've never talked about this.
I've never actually listened to one, but I've been listening to the Peter Carmichael episodes, and I think
Which is amazing because Ralph is
and
one
so I
of
volunteered to be a clapper. I didn't know I would actually be. I thought I would just sit in the corner.
like Owen used to do.
And
Ralph is one of the several licensed Battlefield guides who is a supporter on Patreon. And I'm surprised you didn't know about this because the audio version of this show goes out there for free all the time. So this proves that he doesn't listen to any goddamn thing that we do.
Oh, no. I listen to
the ones he does.
The ones he's on.
No, I listen to the ones where they're talking about, an author or something.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
You don't listen to everything as it comes out. You listen to things based on title. A lot of people do that.
I don't do YouTube.
Yeah.
So it has to be, I'm driving somewhere and I'll listen to it on the phone.
Yeah, okay.
You don't want to see my beautiful face once a week? I
didn't actually get YouTube,
You mean you don't understand it or you don't know how to use it?
I think that's the same.
It took me a year to figure out that you hold the remote control and you say YouTube, and all of a sudden it comes on. And there's like...
How are you with call waiting? Can you flip over to the other line without hanging up on the first person?
Oh, no, absolutely not. No.
So you are my father's
No,
age.
you're gone. No, you call me while I'm on the phone with someone else. I push the button, and the person I'm talking to said, "What just happened?"
Do you know what else Ralph does that drives me insane?
What?
He sends you an email with the entirety of the email in the subject line.
Well, I one sentence. That was from work. I learned that at work.
What, you put the whole email?
Well, I try to make one sentence fragment in the subject line, and then people like Bethany open it up, think there's going to be some kind of love note in there, and there's nothing in there.
Oh, so in other words, the point of the email, I want you
It's
to
a
come
text
to
message.
lunch tomorrow. I want you to meet somebody.
There's too many characters.
Oh.
Lunch tomorrow, 2, be there.
Oh.
And it's in the subject line.
So it's like a telegraph.
That's from Treasury.
Yeah.
Because when I worked in Treasury, I learned, and I did it too, no one opens their emails. Because they're getting 200 every morning.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Amen.
They're just reading the subject line. So we all learned to send the message in the subject line.
There you go.
And I can't break that habit.
There you go. It's actually a great habit because I feel bad for people that send emails because it takes me months to get to certain ones.
No, but then I answer you out loud as I'm reading it. And then I never email you back because I'm like, you say something to me and I'll be like, yes, Ralph.
Yeah, well, that doesn't work at all. That technology doesn't work. We're not there yet.
So now, do you need people to reply with their reply in the subject line?
Yeah, usually.
So like, lunch tomorrow noon, and then they would go
Then they'll
RE
send me a
colon.
text.
Oh, okay.
Or worse yet, they'll send me a DM, which I still don't know what that stands for.
Direct message.
And I don't actually know how to open them unless I go to Facebook.
Yeah, but see, now that's the thing. You communicate with me through Facebook Messenger, and I hardly
messages.
ever go on there.
No, yeah, but that's the only thing I have for you because I don't have your phone number.
Oh, I thought you did have my phone number. All right, well, I'll give you my
So
phone
let's
number.
give it online.
Because I'm always,
Right now.
I always.
What's your phone number?
Okay, it's 717.
I'm kidding. Don't give it out to the
No,
public.
no, I don't mind if everybody knows. That's how
I turn my
secure
phone.
I am with LifeLock.
He turned his foot.
My phone died listening to the other programs.
717. 1. Okay?
The Kalispel are an Indian tribe. Indian in Idaho and...
So you had heard of them before Colby's? Really?
This was my thing. Instead of going to class in high school, I went to the Museum of Natural History and studied Indians.
Really?
Yeah. That was my first introduction to history. This Civil War crap came later.
So who were they related to? Or were they their own thing?
They were a tribe. There were a lot in the northeast of the United States, in the Montana, Idaho, eastern Washington, southern British Columbia. There were a lot of small cultures.
Right.
Flatheads and Blackfeet and all sorts
Yeah.
of groups
Well,
that
I've
were
heard of
reasonably
them.
quite small.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of them. Kalispell's one of them.
That's interesting. So many different names.
And then what the settlers did was to name their communities after the culture that they had destroyed and wiped out.
Yeah.
Just
So they can remember.
Well, let's name,
Let's not forget where we came from, kids.
Yeah.
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 The
So
destruction
that,
of the Callista Flockharts.
yeah.
What was their name?
Kalispell.
The what?
Kalispell.
Kalispell.
Yeah. But the town is not pronounced that way. It's pronounced different.
How's it pronounced?
I don't actually. He
What is
said
it, Colby?
Kalispell.
Yeah,
Kalispell.
Yeah.
Hey, at least it's better than taking over cities and doing like Alexander the Great and just naming everything after yourself.
That's true. Except
What I'd like to do.
Kandahar and all of
Just a
that.
bunch
Yeah.
of-
Says the man who created Matmos.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first step is Matmos. Next step, Maddington, D.C.
I thought you might say like Caloria or something like that.
That's too close to diarrhea.
Calorie Town.
Yeah.
Calorie.
Calorie, Berg. It just doesn't work.
I do
None
like
of them.
I like Calorie Town.
What's that?
I kind of like Calorie.
Calorie Town? Yeah.
Well, this one goes south fast.
Goes
I know,
very
it-
south.
all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
By
then
the
he
way,
yells at me
you're thanks for the underwear in the Devil's Den. And when I was first coming out here to have money for the hotels, I would live in the Devil's Den, and they were drying.
So was-
thanks a lot. I remember that morning I got up. Where the hell's my underwear? And
So Ralph asked, he said, I'd like to come in, like kind of like the way Dean Martin used to pop in on Carson. And I was like, oh, that's nice you compare me to Carson. And he's like, go F yourself.
did I really say that?
No. That's how I imagine it in my head. And so
this
so I
all
said-
occurred last night, by the way.
Yeah,
I wanna
and
point
I
out.
said that would be fun, Ralph. You just come in once in a while whenever you feel like we have you on for a few minutes. You talk, you make us laugh, and then we go on. But I did ask Ralph to do something Pacific today, just when he got here. So in all fairness to him, he may not have this prepared, even
No,
though
I
he
have
had
nothing
over an
I
hour.
have nothing prepared.
Well, okay, thank you.
And so when I do this, you start clapping
Yeah,
too.
well, that's the
Like a
clapper's
monkey.
job
I
is to get everybody
yeah,
going.
but everyone.
Yeah. Oh, and the clapper would start clapping because
see.
nobody listens to me when I start clapping. I want everybody to join me. They don't go along. She does sometimes, but we have a clapper sitting in the corner, and then everybody follows them. I don't know
What
why.
happened to old Owen?
Owen fell off a cliff. Didn't you hear that?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
He graduated. And moved on.
No. He's still in school. He's just busy. Like he's been working with Civil War Trails, I think, and doing some stuff with ABT. So he's a busy fella. He's not as much of an idiot as he was his freshman year. Now he's kind of matured.
Yeah.
Yeah, believe it or not.
I like Owen. He's a good guy.
Yeah, Owen is a good kid. I like him.
You could fit a stool in here, have somebody sitting.
That's
here,
what I'm thinking.
go
Just
clapping
have it-
like a monkey.
Just start
That's
clapping.
what I thought. I didn't know I was going to be talking.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
Well, when we get to the news, if you want, we can pull a stool
I'm still
in.
a little hungover.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we get a stool in here during the news? When you come in, Cindy, bring a stool for Ralph. We'll sit him in the middle of the room, and he could just
or yell from the back.
No, I like you clapping in the middle of the room. We'll do that. But listen, I want to do this on AG today.
Yeah.
I want to have a guy to come in, or maybe we could pre-record it or something. And it is, of course, licensed battlefield guide exam season.
Yeah.
And people who are aspiring guides watch and listen to the show. They listen to this one too. And so I want to give, I want guides to come on and just give their top 5 pieces of advice. Okay, for someone who's preparing to take the exam, whatever you think will be helpful. Go ahead. Ralph, do you have it all ready to go?
I do.
All right, then go ahead and let us know.
This is it. I'm saying it while. Okay,
Yeah.
well, number
It's a
one.
very short song.
It is September tomorrow. It's tomorrow or Sunday.
2 days.
Right. And if you are, as you just phrased it, preparing for the exam,
it's too late.
Don't send in your check. Okay.
Too late.
Save the $250. Buy a good bottle of scotch. Yeah, if you're preparing for the exam now,
Meaning if you're starting your preparations
or even
now.
not finished. I studied for 5 years for my exam. Now, I'm a unique case.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. Let's just leave it maybe there. I actually have a diagnosable minor reading disability.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
I went to a school classification where they classify the
Kids.
special ed kids. I went to one of those.
As a
was
56-year-old man?
No, it wasn't that. It was 30 years ago. And but thank you for the 56. I'll take that. And and they gave me a name for it, and I have a reading disability.
So you didn't find out until you were well into your adulthood.
And the clinician who explained it all to me, I could go into the process how they tested me, but it's kind of interesting. I was reading the newspaper, and they had cameras aiming at my pupils.
Interesting.
To see where my eyes were going. And he said, "Yeah, you have this type of disability."
What's it called?
AAD was the initials.
So not ADD.
Then. No, that's what
Right.
we were hoping for. He said, "Okay, well, yeah, you're a very slow reader. You have to look at all the words first and then put them together before you can read the sentence."
Huh.
I said, "What do you do for a living?" And I said, "Well, I'm
Reporter.
a State House reporter for the Associated Press." And he said, "Get the F out of my office." He literally did. He said, because he's got a room full outside. He's got a room full of Philadelphia school kids who are bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
And their parents are waiting outside because they can't be in the room with all those kids. And I'm sitting in the middle of them trying to read the paper. And they're like landing in my lap.
Oh, that's funny.
And he said, "Okay, well, obviously you've compensated for this disability because if you're
you figured it out."
And then he did ask like, "How?" And I said, "Well, we don't read books,
Right.
You know what I mean? I read a press release. I'd read a piece of legislation at the summary, and we did bang out the story.
Right,
so I'm not
right.
sitting there reading, I've never read a state budget, and I wrote about them for 30 years.
Did you ever ask a question in a press conference that might have been
No.
ridiculous? Because
yeah, for sure.
Well, no, because
But
you
not
misread
because
it.
No. We just asked ridiculous
Governor
questions.
Whitman, it says here that you with the trees have the cow.
No, none of that. No,
it wasn't anything.
no, I
It
don't
doesn't
do
work
that.
that way.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. I didn't.
All right,
I didn't
so-
have to. There was a reporter. There was a reporter intern for a radio station in Philadelphia who had Tourette's, and they wouldn't let. And they said just sit here and pay attention during the press conferences. And one of the people called on him. That was something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he was so stressed.
Yeah.
And the Tourette's, if their stress builds up, he completely lost control.
Yeah.
And the governor was standing next to the guy who called on him, and she's just staring at him like, okay, obviously she's never seen this before.
Yeah.
And
that's
beside the point.
Yeah.
So if you're preparing. I have sound effects too. There we go. If you're preparing for the exam, you're not.
Right. So, so you're saying that by this point, what if you're not even finished? What would finished be in your mind?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know.
Thank you.
If you can have partners and pop each other legitimate
There you
questions,
go. There you
they
go.
can answer them.
Okay. That's good. I like that. All right, then, Ralph. What is your second piece of advice?
Practice essays.
Practice essays. Very good piece of advice.
I did teach together with Amy Worden from Penn Live.
Mm-hmm.
We ran workshops this year helping candidates figure out how to do an essay.
Okay.
And the essays have really been magnified on the exam process to the extent that now the poor people taking the test have they write essays for like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's
by hand.
Do you think that's in part due to like essays kind of give you a little bit of a glimpse of their storytelling ability?
Yeah, we'll see.
No, but so is that's the problem though, is that
it's hard to grade those things.
Well, but not only that, but like, I try to write by hand as often as possible because
that was what we did in the workshop was we gave everybody a pad of paper and made them write a practice essay for 30 minutes. Then the first thing we did when they were done is hand it to your neighbor to see if he can read
If
it.
it's legible.
And there were several who were like, what happened on this page?
It's
This looks
amazing
like a
because people draw like drunken 4-year-olds or write like drunken 4-year-olds. But I think it's because we type everything now.
Of course.
We're not using
When's
that.
the last time you sat down and wrote something?
Well, and that's why I actually make a purpose or a point to write, because I recognize when I tried to write a letter one time, I was like all over the place. I was like, wait, did I have anything to drink? Like I'm writing like a drunkard. So yes, it's very, okay. So essays.
Go practice them.
Go practice your essays.
Figure out, and like we learned this in the workshop, but it's not. Well, people who register for the exam are going to get guidance, but the guidance is so general.
Mm-hmm.
At least it was in 2017. Topics: July 1, July 2, July 3.
Mm-hmm. You don't say.
Cemetery. Okay, the essay is going to be somewhere in that world, so you don't know. But if you sit down, if you've studied, you can think about it. Okay, I can guess what an essay is going to be.
Right.
So go ahead and guess what the essay is going to be. Write the question down, and then write the essay.
Now, how long does this essay have to be? No more than a side of a page, right?
That was the rule in 17, but I think they're changing that. But I don't know. For the first things that you do when you're doing the essay is don't start writing the essay. When you see the question, sit down and think. Yeah. And then outline.
Map it out in your head.
Yeah.
Do you have scrap paper for the outline?
Good question.
Yeah.
You used to.
Yeah.
Now, when I took the exam, back when we were under candlelight and whalebone kerosene lanterns.
I was going to say, when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
No, not that long ago.
And whales.
When we used whale oil, okay, young lady? Whale oil. That's when we earned our lamps.
Right.
Call me Ishmael. And they smoked and they got in your eye. We had maybe 40 minutes or hour of essays.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't really remember. The test was completely leaning on questions. Now they really want you to write, and it's like I think your arm's going to fall off. 3 hours.
Yeah.
And
practice writing is advice number 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Practice writing.
Then
wait, are you going on advice number 3?
His writing advice.
Oh, okay.
This is old.
So this is still part of number 2.
No, we'll move on to
all right, it's number 3.
I got nothing else.
Go ahead.
If you're going to throw dough at someone else and you want to hurt them, make sure it's sourdough bread. It hits with a very satisfying splotch. Makes a real loud noise. The head snaps back. It's just completely rewarding.
Okay. Carries some weight.
This is general advice for anyone who writes.
Throw sourdough bread.
This is good advice for anyone who writes anything.
Right.
Like that thing you wrote for Mike. Right?
Right.
Now, you wrote that?
Yes.
You see how crappy it sounded?
Yes.
Right. That's because you didn't read it.
No.
But when you heard him read it, all of us in the other room were wincing.
Yes. Well, I
was ready to leave.
I'm sorry. He was taking liberties with it, okay?
Oh, was he?
But in all fairness, I did not proofread it. I wrote it and printed it out.
I'm not talking about
Hold on,
proofreading.
wait. I wrote it and I printed. Normally, I do read it out loud before I publish.
But this is also,
I did it before last week's show in haste because why, Ralph? I have no staff, so I do it all by myself. So
and plus, you spend your nights before your shows
drinking
and
heavily,
smoking cigars.
yes, with you.
Yeah, and man, when I got up this morning, when I saw how low that bourbon bottle had gone,
me
and there weren't that
Larry.
many people drinking.
No.
It was 3 of us drinking that, and the bottle was
Well,
like.
I had 3. I think Larry had it about the same. Every time
It's
one of
like
us went, the other one went.
You should
Larry
know, you should be
Korchak?
glad,
It's like at frat parties in college. You know how bad it was based on how low the bottles are the next morning.
Yeah. What
how
Colby?
much did we drink?
Yeah.
Well, you should be glad he wasn't drinking wine coolers. He gets crazy on wine coolers.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah,
absolutely
you
out
put,
of hand.
You put some Bartles and James in my hand and forget it, sister.
In my house, the wine coolers are stored next to the sourdough bread. That big blue square can marked recycling.
What is piece of advice number 4, Ralph?
Well, we were going to what you were saying.
Oh.
Which you didn't do with that thing.
Right.
And this is general writing advice, like I said already, because I taught writing for a couple of years at Rider University, and was a writer for many years before I fell off the ladder. And you have with you, boy, this is a great piece of advice. Makes the whole show worthwhile. That and the sourdough bread.
How's that loaf, guys? How's that?
You are in the presence of an excellent editor who can always help you make your writing better, and that's your ear.
Yes, that is true.
Ear is read it out loud.
Yep.
And so in our workshop, for example, we had people write an essay, 25 minutes. What were Robert E. Lee's reasons for moving his army north? Because there's going to be a question somewhere.
Somewhere,
in that
sure,
vein,
of course.
And they're going to have a rubric where they have certain points, and those essay graders want to see that you covered those points, and that's how they grade it.
A Stanley
grade
rubric.
it on whether you're Hemingway or Faulkner. They're grading it on whether you answered the 3 things that are on their list of the piece of paper.
So try not to be profound.
Read it out
and-
loud.
Yes, but but just get to the goddamn point.
Well, get to the goddamn point is for sure. That may be number 4. But going back to number 3. When going back, who was that? Was that Cam?
No.
Basta! Oh, yeah. It's Matthew Broderick pretending to be a Civil War guy. That was good, yeah.
All right,
Teach
so go ahead.
them properly, Major Forbes.
I love that I thought that was Cam.
Yeah.
Basically anything where you can't understand it, they think is Cam.
Yeah. At the workshop, when people wrote their essays, then we had several people read their essays for the rest of the class to feedback on. And about 50% of the time, the people couldn't get through their essay.
Yeah,
they
'cause
kept
they can't-
coughing and strangling on sentences. That they wrote, and it's like, that's a good test. Look at that. If you can't get through the sentence, then that's not a good sentence.
Right.
And of course, they're not writing for the wire service or for be published in the Patriot News or anything. They're writing for an audience of 1.
Right.
But that audience of 1 has to understand what you're saying to him or her.
Right.
And another piece of writing advice that's universal.
This is number 4.
Okay,
Wait,
we'll take it.
Are we on to number 4?
I got nothing.
Okay.
I feel like we've done 17.
I think there's been 47.
I'm the sour bread dough of
what?
Go again.
In the
essay
world.
questions. This is another, and I think I just forgot the piece of advice, the final piece. Along with listening to your ear,
listen to your rear.
Listen to read out loud and
Shirts
hear
made.
what you're saying. And
Don't
yeah.
just listen with your ear.
I think, but don't read your essay out loud during the class, during the test.
that would be bad.
They don't want that.
No.
So sort of read it internally.
Ralph, this is what it's like
and
when
don't
I do
fart
the news.
during the class. Don't fart.
No
Now,
talking
I say
about
this
here,
from
just
practical
listening.
experience because the guy next to me, when I took the test in 2002, had some kind of biological, genetic, or malnutrition problem.
Oh, no.
And through the whole test. Now, I live in New Jersey, and I drove past Elizabeth and Linden enough that you roll your windows up, but it comes in the car anyway.
Right,
If you don't hit that little orange button, you drive through Linden, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Well, so I was prepared for this part, but I could see people withering around me during the exam. They were shrinking in their seats like old salad. Like, what's that smell? And it's this guy that just was... And everyone knew it was him, and he's like cool, right? And his,
he doesn't care.
Maybe that
He's
was
used to
his
it.
idea of trying to get people to not get higher up in the ranking, to have people drop out.
Well, I was afraid there was going to be an explosion in the room. Somebody's going to light a cigarette, and the windows will blow out. So much methane gas that was in there.
If you're gonna fart, you can't just not look around. Like, you gotta act like you're smelling it for the first time.
Yeah,
That's a
you
dead
can't just
giveaway.
act like you're not. Yeah, that's what probably gave him away, is because he wasn't reacting at all,
Not
and
looking
everyone
around.
else is
He's
like,
got rotten eggs floating in the air, and he's just in his
skin
paper.
color is changing. So don't do that. Make sure your check doesn't bounce. I think we covered that.
Yeah, that's rule
Don't
number 1.
send in a check at all if you're still preparing, quote unquote.
So now, okay.
Here is an excellent editor.
Okay, we got them
And-
all. They can go
and-
back and play. Now I have to move on. So I have to ask you this last thing
had
though.
a lot more- another
When
one I
you're
can't
saying,
remember.
well, let's because this is a good point that I've never heard anybody say before.
Yeah.
So I want to have you open this up, and then we're gonna go. You say if you're preparing or still preparing at September, don't take the exam this year.
You're not ready.
Well, what if they've been studying for the last 2 or 3 or 7 years?
You know something?
So-
Anybody who's listening knows.
Okay. So
They
this
know
is what
that-
we
they
were
know
saying.
they're there.
This is what we were saying last week. We were talking about this last week.
Yeah.
If this would be a good time to give your brain a rest, right?
This is not a bad way of looking at it.
Okay.
To review, to read a book that you really like.
Step away. You know what a good technique? I was talking with Wendy Allen one time. She's a painter.
Yeah, I know.
And I said, well, for people at home who don't know,
Yeah.
and I said,
Next
you know, Wendy, I got this painting and I started it a year ago. And I can't, I know what I need to do. I just can't see it and start, you know? And she said, well, we all go through this.
Is that for real? Do you really paint?
This is, yeah.
Yeah, he does. He's
Not
very
as
good.
well as she does, but still, I do it. And she said, well, you know what some people do is they turn the painting around, leave it on the easel or leave it against the wall or whatever, but turn it around so that you can't see it. And then after a couple of weeks or a month or whatever time, flip it back and you might look at it with fresh eyes. So my point is, and I always just would leave the painting and then, you know, I walk by in the room out of the corner of my eye, maybe see something. So, but my point is though, that maybe it's kind of the same idea.
Yeah.
You have to step away so that you can see it more clearly. And I think that whether you're doing the guide exam or anything, that's just good advice
it is.
when you're really tightly
and
wound.
also when you get there.
Yes.
When you get to that level, you know, I've had lawyers tell me that you don't be looking at your notes while you're walking in to take the bar exam.
Right. Right.
You know,
It's not going to
gotta
help you.
feel like you're there.
Yeah. I always, when I was in school and I had an exam,
Right.
I didn't study the morning of. I knew that wasn't
I
going to
remember
help
number
me.
5 now.
Oh,
Number 5
okay.
now.
What's
number
5?
I'm holding a Sharpie in my hand. Write the Union Order of Battle on your forearm.
No, don't do that.
And then you can read it during look at it during these. No, they actually follow you into the bathroom.
Yeah.
If you go into the bathroom.
But they do fold the toilet paper for you.
You know, it's a little odd. They keep the door open of the stall. They watch you. It was a little.
Yeah, it's a little
And then I
strange.
said after the exam, wasn't that a little much that the guy keeps the stall open
They're
and
like,
watches
"What
me?"
guy?
And they said, right, exactly. What? Who? What Proctor?
What are you talking?
That guy Steve. Who? And then you see him running down through the woods. You know, with his underwear up in the
Hopefully
devil's
no
den.
one proctoring the test is named
that's
Steve.
funny. That's funny.
He was listening with his rear.
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
What I did is I read a book that I enjoyed, and if any of you like actually read the books you buy,
right,
you know that a 1 out of 10 Civil War history books is passable in terms of how it's written.
Yeah.
So like Catton's a good. Pick up Catton and read The Glory Road.
Right.
And it's a good way of putting your thoughts together.
Or pick up Chicago and listen to The Glory of Love.
Okay, I wouldn't do that at all.
That's not even.
I don't know.
I will say.
But I mean, Glory Road, as you well know, I hope,
Yeah.
is the one of the trilogy that
Yes,
is
of
up
course.
that covers Gettysburg.
Yes, yes, yes.
And the trilogy is, and the reason is because he's so easy to read, especially if you've read, you know, the history of the regiment by and they met by these history. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, you
but a
don't
lot
wanna-
of these history books, these guys can't write.
Uh-huh.
But you have to go through them because you're preparing, and these guys are just not good. There's so much badly written history, and one of the problems is that the innocent reader thinks that's their fault because they're too stupid.
I think
You know,
history writers should have a thing where, you know, if they're going to school to be a history writer, I think one big part they should learn is how to write fiction first.
Yeah.
Like learn how to tell a story and then take the facts and tell the story.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem I feel like with history.
And then you have certain history writers who do both at the same time.
Yeah.
They write the history and fiction.
The same book.
There's several authors that come leaping to mind that no one should ever go near. But it's you know, I remember the joke was I'm going to take the guides exam. I've seen the movie 3 or 4 times.
Oh, yeah.
You don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, that's when the exam was $60. My
Right.
exam, there were lots of people who took the exam openly admitting that it was on a dare.
Really?
Yeah, when my exam happened, they hadn't had one in 5 years, which is kind of the situation now. It's 7.
Yeah.
But back then, they hadn't had an exam in 5 years. That there was a lot of built-up people waiting to take the test. And there were a lot of people in there who openly said they're just on a dare.
Huh.
You know, they want to see how they'll do on the written test.
Yeah.
And
Well, unfortunately, that's the only way to gauge how you'll do on the written test. There's no practice exam.
I had no expectation to be advanced.
Well,
off
and
the
that's
written exam. I was taking it to see what it would be like, hoping that sometime before I retired,
I
would actually have a shot at getting ranked on the. Remember, it's not pass fail.
No, I know.
It's a ranking system.
It's a ranking, yeah.
In my year, a academic score of 94 on the test was insufficient to be ranked.
Yeah.
And of course,
So you got more than a 90.
But I don't think they're
astounded.
doing that again though this year, aren't they?
Well, they because they have this interim process of interviews and a field practicum.
They're making it easier for
They're taking more people off the test. I
right.
wouldn't want to say easier, but in my class they took 21 people. As I understand it now, they're taking like 40 because they're gonna weed out half of them in the interview process.
Yeah.
And then the oral exam will weed out half of those, and they'll end up with the 12 or 15 that.
And do they
think
ever
need.
dip back into the well to get more if they need more?
Don't work that way. You have to do it again.
Yeah, so that's still the case.
Yeah,
See, I think Angie said it differently on the show.
Well, this was a different guy at a different time.
Right.
She may have changed these policies.
I
so
feel
I
like
would
she
go with
said
what
they-
she tells you.
Well, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I'd have to watch the whole show again, and I can't stand listening to myself. So it's going to be somebody listen to it for me and report back. Thank you. All right, listen. We have to move on. So Cindy, come on in and bring the stool for Ralph to sit on so he can clap. And then we're gonna do the news with the girls, okay?
So I'm taking these headphones.
Yeah,
off.
Cindy's gonna take your chair now. It's we're not that big of a facility here, so we have very little.
You're lucky we have other chairs.
I didn't mean anything I said about the sourdough bread, by the way. I hope.
Why do you hate me so?
I love you. You can't. Well, I shouldn't say that on the air.
Oh, your wife might be watching.
Oh,
Careful.
Now it's controversial.
All right, so there we
My
go.
wife don't listen to this thing.
You're sitting here.
She doesn't do podcasts.
Right, you're gonna sit in the middle now, Ralph. You're just gonna clap like Owen used to.
They can hear me from here with my booming.
Oh, they'll hear you. Yeah,
they'll
don't worry
hear
about
you.
it. Don't worry about it. All right, the ladies are here, and when the ladies are together, there's two things that you can be certain about. One is good times are around the corner, and two, so is the news.
And now, all the news that's fit to print and a good deal that's not. Here's
What?
AG Today's lead anchor, Bethany Ewing, with current events and sidewalk conditions.
Gettysburg Planning Commission dives into housing density discussion as rezoning project continues.
New student attends Gettysburg College, and we are all afraid.
What?
The Adams County Industrial Development Authority is facilitating financing for the Next Generation Farmer Loan Program.
Gettysburg Times publisher indicted for mail fraud. All this
Whoa.
and more on today's news. She can't.
Can we fix this somehow?
It does sound
Debbie
like a
Zipper.
horrible.
It's a horrible thing. What?
Is there any way to fix this?
No.
Ugh.
If it just jiggle it, I guess.
Jiggle what?
Jiggle the wire.
Get jiggy with it.
What's the problem? It's only coming in one speaker?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, let's see. I don't see that in your mix there. But meanwhile, the audience is like, just get on with it, people. Let me see. I'll see if I can do anything about it, but I don't think I can, my dear.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He called her dear.
All right, let me see that thing. Go ahead, girls.
Okay, can you play the Debbie's zipper?
Oh.
Because it actually goes.
So.
Yeah, it's something with the connection.
Okay, play it again, but like a roar sound. Like make
What's
it like
the same
a roar.
thing? All right.
You talking about Cam at the end?
All right, so
it is what it is. I can't make it sound like what it's
Okay,
not.
so
Yeah.
I was hoping you'd play it like twice, like boom, boom.
Oh, you can't. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. So the student that has started to attend Gettysburg College on Tuesday morning was a black bear. And I was trying to make it sound like a roar.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes, but it was turned away without incident.
Oh, thank God.
Beautiful.
The closest thing I have is this.
I fixed it, Ralph.
Their snouts are similar.
No, not even a little bit.
No. Oh, don't do that.
The Gettysburg Borough Police Chief said officers were dispatched to the college to assist in the safety and security department in herding the bear from the premises.
Now, where did this bear come from?
The woods.
Just out of the woods, I guess.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the same place that fly came from.
Yeah, really.
So
there's been a bunch of them actually. Wade back there when he was here, he was the one who posted in the forum that he saw it on the railroad tracks, and then he just saw another one.
Yeah, there's one
He
kind
said
of
on the
wandering around
battlefield.
apparently.
Mhm.
My favorite part
What?
is the
He
way
just saw another bear?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Guys, we're under
Or it could be the
attack.
same one, just
Maybe.
roaming around.
Maybe.
The newspaper really did a cute job with the article, too, because they wrote, the bear was finally encouraged to seek a higher level of understanding elsewhere. It appears no picnic baskets were involved.
So it wasn't Yogi.
Yeah, so it just walked back the way it came, they said. So there was a little bear, a little black bear.
Well, that's nice.
At the campus.
All right. Very good for the bear.
Go ahead, Sue.
So the Gettysburg Planning Commission is, they were digging into details of the borough's zoning districts and land use regulations in the August 19th meeting. So they just had one, they updated the draft ordinance on August 21st. It is on the borough's website. The next Planning Commission meeting will be on September 16th, and they plan to tackle more zoning districts. So this is that whole shifting that they're doing of the entire borough and the rezoning that they're doing there.
Okay.
So basically, the commission weighed the goals of the borough's comprehensive plan, which calls for increasing housing density and addressing the housing shortage, against public comments that expressed opposition to increasing density in the R1 district. They did have a lot of people in the public there allowed to comment. They've also, you can go onto the website and submit your own comments if you'd like, because they are pulling those all together.
They won't listen to them, but you can submit them.
One discussion was whether to allow conversions of single-family detached homes into multiple units. The argument for inclusion would be the ability to increase the number of housing units without affecting the rhythm and harmony of the block.
The rhythm and harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I know,
The
it doesn't.
committee-
Yeah.
The committee's draft also proposed allowing attached accessory dwelling units, which, for example, is converting a finished basement or garage space into an apartment, so something like an in-law suite. So they're determining whether or not to be able to offer that. But Strauss said that one of the most heavily commented upon topics was chickens and bees.
Really?
Yeah.
People don't like people having chickens and bees.
The draft suggested changing land use regulations that allow keeping of chickens and bees in the R1 zoning district. The Planning Commission moved toward removing this change due to community concerns, including noise, chicken waste, and bee allergies. But there's
I
also
get the bee allergy thing.
Yeah, they're going back and forth on it, though. It says Whitmore said there is a trend in the planning industry toward allowing chickens and bees, which it was likely suggested in the committee's draft, but it can be a contentious issue, which we know strong feelings for both sides. So the Borough of Gettysburg Municipal Code prohibits the keeping of bees and poultry. So the Borough Council would have needed to reconcile the code one way or another once the zoning ordinance came before them. So there's a lot of things involved with this. It's nowhere near done.
Of course, there's always.
I mean, if we're getting stuck on chickens and bees,
Yeah.
there's
What
a
about
long way to
spiders
go.
and snakes?
And they're only in R1 though. Let's remember there's a lot more. R1 is first. So
okay, so Mitchell Randall says that Little Ground Top saved his marriage. Okay.
great.
All right, I just wanted you to know that. Yeah,
That's
thank
good.
you, Ralph. There you go. You got it. You got it.
So
And wait, Rich Snyder says that he was recently on a tour with Ralph regarding Schurz in the 11th Corps. He is great. And somebody else said, Ralph, who was that? James D says, Ralph, my favorite AGLBG. There you go, Ralph. There you go.
Ralph.
Okay, go ahead.
do you
Beth.
have it?
Sorry, he's so cute. Okay.
Colby, I hope oh good. Okay. You gotta get Beth's faces. She's great.
Thanks.
She does a lot of great things.
Oh, and I'm sorry. The Glory of Love was not Chicago. That was just Peter Cetera. Forgive me.
Sorry. So I don't know if anybody's been paying attention, but there's been some vandalism out on the park and in town and stuff like that, and some things going on.
Something is going on, guys.
So,
what is going on?
They named in the paper the person who did the
Really? What is the name?
Stronger than dirt.
Charges are pending against Suzanne Weiser of Fairfield.
Oh, Suzanne Weiser of Fairfield.
Wait, Suzanne did the spray painting?
Yeah.
And the rock?
Yeah.
She did.
who she is?
Yes, I know her.
No, you do not.
She's our mortgage lady, isn't she?
Don't do that.
I'm just
No,
kidding.
it's
It's not. Her name is Suzanne, but it's not
But
her.
she's local, which I thought was interesting.
Wait, what did
Well, what's her big beef?
what did she tag on the like? What did
She wrote,
paint?
"Hope lives
was like,
here,
"Hope
the
lives
dead will
here."
rise."
Yeah.
Yes.
Eh?
It has since been painted over. And then she did some symbols around town and stuff like that. That's all it says. There are no other, like why she did it or whatever. They just said that the charges are pending against Suzanne Weiser of Fairfield.
She's
What
not
is
local.
that?
Cam just dropped her out of the wheelbarrow on his way home.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But, you know,
So,
Go ahead.
if you live locally, why all of a sudden decide today is the day
Well,
that
how
I'm going to
long
be
has
this
she lived
angry?
Well, okay, let's I'm going to use
Long enough to be called of Fairfield.
I'm going to use my FBI profiler training here, okay? Okay, she's local. The message is what? Long live love, the hope lives and dies.
Hope loves here, the dead will rise.
Hope lives here,
the dead
the
will
dead
rise.
will rise.
Yes.
Okay. That's clearly some kind of religious message or something like that. You're going to the battlefield, the dead, blah, blah, blah. Clearly, there's a, and I don't say this lightly or to be mean or anything, but there's a mental disturbance there. There's something going on that she needs help with.
There was symbology to it too, and I don't know if
Exactly.
they really
Did it
understand.
have something to do with pagan, perhaps?
Unknown.
Pagan,
I don't know.
Well, the dead rising. I mean,
Well, you were trying to describe it last time.
It did kind of look like a circle with like a cross in it, and
yeah, like a
It did
zodiac,
kind- yeah,
like the
like a
zodiac
zodiac
symbol. She's
symbol.
trying to bring
Yeah.
the zodiac back. I
But-
think he's long done.
response to that, the Adams County as a community has started to like pay attention to not only is the battlefield out there, but we have sites that aren't on the battlefield that are of historical significance.
Sure.
So the one that is mentioned in the article here is Sachs Bridge.
Yeah.
So the county commissioners received a kind of the opportunity to put high-tech cameras out there that can literally do face recognition and all that kind of
Great.
stuff.
Yay, we're getting
So
into that.
be very aware that if you go out to that bridge, that
Don't start listening with your rear.
don't start doing anything crazy, because those cameras, he said, they're pretty obvious, and that's intentional.
Yeah.
They're there
They got
as
out
a
of
deterrent. The cameras are part of a free trial offer. After the trial, commissioners will decide if they want to pay to continue to use them.
Special free trial offer.
Yeah, but you know,
Facial identity cameras.
it is a deterrent. You know, when people see cameras,
Well,
they do.
so's a
start-
Rottweiler. There's,
Well, I don't think they're going to put a Rottweiler out
Why
by the
not?
Sachs Bridge.
Why not?
Who's going to feed the Rottweiler?
They wouldn't have
the
to.
people who are trying to do bad.
The Rottweiler would feed himself.
He'll feed himself. Exactly. They're tough.
Stronger than dirt.
There was
Rottweiler.
another thing that happened with that bridge in particular. There was a company from Ohio that came to the county commissioners. They go around choosing historic bridges, covered bridges mostly, and offered to, for free, paint the bridge with a fire retardant paint. They evaluated it and said that it would be okay, and are going to be repainting the bridge with this fire
So is it
retardant
like
paint.
every part, every surface of the, or just the
guess.
outside?
I guess it's every part of it. I mean, what would be the point of
But
just
they're
painting?
going to paint the part you actually walk on?
Well, I'm assuming it's a
Clear.
clear like coating, almost like a polyurethane.
Oh, I see.
But so Sachs Bridge getting some love.
Yeah, well, we do love our Sachs Bridge, and we don't want anything to happen to our Sachs Bridge. And
I don't want anything to happen to my stack either, man.
He did that on purpose.
I did.
You're fishing and you got a bite.
He's glad Colby's back.
I do. I miss Colby.
He looked right at me too, like he was waiting. Like, don't start talking because we got to let Colby have a
A
second.
minute ago, did you hear me? I almost probably said something you would have gotten this show taken down for.
Well, no, I didn't hear that. Thank God I didn't hear that, sir.
But I stopped myself like a responsible man.
Good.
So this story
All right, go
is,
ahead.
I thought it was interesting because of just having the Land Conservancy on. There's a farmer's loan resolution was approved. So this is about one loan in particular, but there is the Adams County Industrial Development Authority is facilitating the financing of the Next Generation Farmer Loan Program for a Butler Township property. So this is for this one in particular. However, the program, I thought, was pretty interesting. It's focused on assisting the next generation of farmers to expand agriculture in Pennsylvania. There's a requirement of the program. It's to having no prior ownership of farmland. So it's truly a program that supports a new generation of farmers being cultivated in Pennsylvania, which I think is great. So it can be used for agricultural land and improvements. Those eligible to participate must be permanent state residents, 18 years or older when filing for the loan applications. It also, the loan is tax exempt for the lender providing the financing. So lower interest rate terms are available for people who want to be farmers in Pennsylvania. So I think that's great.
Yeah. Save that land, man.
Save the land. Keep
All right.
the farms.
Keep
right,
the
Matt?
farms.
Don't
That's
build
right,
those.
that's
yeah,
right.
Don't build those solar farms.
What?
That's right. Don't build solar farms. Build animal farms. Go ahead.
The Gettysburg Times publisher, Harry Hartman, who works for the Sample News Group that owns the newspaper, the Gettysburg Times, since February 2013. The parent company was recently informed by Mr. Hartman that he is being indicted for federal mail theft charges.
Yeah. So he stole a bunch of dudes, right, that worked for the federal government.
He stole dudes?
That's what she just said, federal mail charges. Oh, come on.
That's reversive clapping.
Driscoll and Ebert gives it 2 thumbs down. Oh, my God.
The company, the Sample News Group, said that they will support Mr. Hartman and his family as they work through this serious matter. There will be a temporary and interim publisher named, according to the report, but no additional information on the charges were immediately available.
So they don't even tell you what he allegedly did. Interesting.
Yeah. But he informed them that he was... the way they word it is quite... interesting, that he is facing imminent indictment on imminent indictment.
So he informed them that he was facing indictment?
He informed the Times or
the parent company.
Okay. Oh, I thought you meant he informed the federal government.
I thought that's what he informed.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they'd already know that.
Dear federal government, I'm facing imminent indictment by you. I don't know if that's what it sounds like. That's just my generic voice.
I think
Could you imagine though, like if could you imagine if somebody says, yeah, okay, whatever. I was trying to do a Wendell Clarkson thing, but I don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
However, what I think is interesting about this is that what I suspect, this is purely speculation, is that something in what he thought was the everyday carry out of his job is being reported as mail theft.
The everyday carry out of his job.
Mm-hmm.
So the execution of his job is being...
And it may be just like he thought, oh, that's what I was supposed to do.
Mail theft, though.
But I mean, if he put,
what does
somebody
that even
put,
mean?
like, well, in my personal experience, what?
Don't speculate, Ralph is saying. Just leave well enough alone.
I'm going to say that.
Well, I mean,
something-
I'm sure the story will unfold. So
Yes.
as of now, this is the situation.
Yes.
And as the Times or whoever reports more, then we'll talk about it.
Yeah. And
There's
I'll
no
be
need
right.
to speculate now because
And I'll
then-
be right. See, this is
Yeah.
his
Ralph
journalism.
knows. He already knows
Do
what.
you already know what
Can
happened?
you guys hear me?
Yeah.
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 The feds don't indict
They kill
without ironclad,
evidence.
and the speculation is it
Yeah.
has something to do with the newspaper. That's entirely speculative, but it's awfully coincidental.
Okay, so it's
They have federal mail licenses to get discount second class mail for newspapers. It's a very special class just for newspapers. We mail first class, they mail second class. Junk mail is fourth class.
okay.
Only newspaper people know this crap. But so if they were mailing other things,
How are you doing?
Right.
that would be a crime.
Oh, in other words, using the special
Second class.
the
To mail out.
thing that the newspaper has.
crap or
So
something.
okay. So in other words,
Interesting.
using the special permissions that the newspaper has to mail cheaper.
And there's a whole
For
variety
personal-
of scenarios
Right.
involved in that. So I mean,
We don't know.
I only know what we read about.
I understand. I see.
I was trying to
Okay.
give him the benefit of the doubt.
That is Bethany's MO.
Yes,
But
yes.
the notion of an accidental or I didn't mean it, they don't indict for that.
Right.
What he received is what they call an information,
Right.
which means you're about to be indicted. We're about to vote. And He
Right.
called his boss to make sure. I don't know why.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I
What
just
else?
want everybody to be good people and assume that they're doing good things
Well, they're-
accidentally.
Buddy, you are
They're all
naive.
not.
You are
They're
not.
not.
They're really not all.
You
That's because of
wait
sourdough bread
until
you eat.
Oh,
wait until
I
you
will say
hear.
I like sourdough bread.
I'm just being stupid.
I-
I'm sorry.
Wait until you hear the story of the
of just how good or how not good people are.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll
So-
hear about
Oh,
a
at
big
dinner.
piece of shit that lives around here.
Can we?
All right, come on.
So, borough access, the access to businesses assured during road work. This is just a quick update on the road project that was on the news the other week that we were talking about. So, Gettysburg's $1.95 million pipeline project on North Washington Street is set to start September 3rd. So, coming up very quickly on Tuesday next week. All area businesses will have some type of vehicular access during the 4 months of construction. The 5-phase plan.
4 months now. It was 3 last week.
Well, it says 4 months of construction. The 5-phase plan to install new sewer and water lines from Stevens Run to Chambersburg Street is necessary to prevent a drainage disaster as a 19th century stone structure continues to collapse
Oh yeah.
under Chambersburg Street. Each phase of the traffic control plan covers one small segment of North Washington. Phases will be done one at a time to always allow access to each property or business on the street, said the borough engineer. It may be a different route than people are used to, but all businesses will be able to provide access for their clients. Phase 1, which is from the bridge over Stevens Run to Constitution Ave, could kick off the day after Labor Day. And one lane of North Washington should be closed during the day, during which time flaggers will direct traffic. Both lanes will be closed for work from 6:30 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. for the duration of the project, which that's a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, 6:30 p.m. to 4:30 a.m.
I must have
Eisenhower
all
every day.
possible
was in Holland
information.
in 4 months.
What's that?
Eisenhower was in Holland in 4 months.
Yeah, true story. All right, all I have is events now.
Yeah,
All
we're
right, it's
good
time for the
events,
events, ladies
yes.
and gentlemen.
All right. This weekend, there is a family day on Saturday at the George Spangler Farm and Field Hospital from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It is free and open to the public. You can drive out, as well as they will have living historians and all kinds of things there for the public. So join us for Family Day. They're usually a lot of fun.
Yes, that's just Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And anything going on Sunday out there?
No.
Or okay, good, because we're gonna shoot some video.
There's a lot of stuff going on this weekend with it being a holiday weekend. So hopefully the weather's nice. We talked about it last week. Hauser Hill Event Center, Chill on the Hill is this Sunday, 12 to 4. There's going to be live music, wine, beer, sangria, cocktails, non-alcoholic drinks, Latino Fusion Style will be there. Sarah's Creamery. And yeah, actually that's it. Penn State Ice Cream, though. That's good stuff. So that's what she has and that's what she serves.
This weekend is the last weekend for the 100 Nights of Taps. They'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday at 7 p.m. So get out there and, end the summer.
Yeah, I had Yari Villanueva on yesterday.
Oh, did you?
For a Patreon episode, and I really enjoyed it. He's a very interesting guy to talk to. We talked about everything from Civil War buglers to the Federal City Brass Band, and of course, 100 Nights of Taps. And it was a good conversation. First Lieutenants, you already know that over at patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg. And everybody else, you'll see it 6 to 12 months from now. All right. What?
You're not allowed to talk about other things?
Let me see here. Go ahead.
All right. Go ahead.
Trailgating at Strawberry Hill is
oh no. No,
is also
it's banned
up.
on the show. Sorry.
I don't know why the date is not on here. So I'm going to skip this one for now, and I'm going to talk about the Tomato Festival at the Adams County Farmers Market this Saturday. So that's 545 Long Lane in Gettysburg. It is throughout the farmers market. They are excited to be celebrating one of the most versatile vine-ripened vegetables at our first ever Tomato Fest. I did see one place where it said or fruit, though, because technically it is a fruit. But yeah.
You know who gets good tomatoes, and I got to find out from where, is Gettysburg Baking Company.
Oh.
They're the freshest, juiciest, tastiest tomatoes I've ever had. I hate tomatoes.
Well, ask
but I love the
How
tomatoes.
do you hate tomatoes?
Because I
ditto, bro.
Thank you.
No, he hates
because they're
tomatoes.
usually gross.
He hates them
Guys
from
are
the grocery
communists.
store. He hates them from the grocery store.
I hate them from the
Homegrown
grocery store.
tomatoes are great.
You're big on yeah. It's a Jersey thing, I guess.
Yeah, you got to get locals.
Yeah.
Are you?
Have you had a homegrown or farm grown tomato versus a store bought tomato?
Oh my God, yeah.
Right, and it's an explosion of flavor.
Completely different,
right.
yeah. You're
So you go to
100% right.
Gettysburg Baking Company, you get like the turkey sandwich, and the tomato on it is the reddest you've ever seen, and it is juicy and it is tasty. And I'm like, now I understand why people who love tomatoes love tomatoes. Otherwise, tomatoes are gross to me, and there's no point to them. But these are good.
I do take them off.
Yeah.
Water, kind of.
Who? What called?
It's like eating dirty water.
Dirty water.
Ugh.
With snot and
I
mealy.
would really like to
it's
go
gross.
eat here soon.
Okay, go ahead.
MPS campfire programs are this weekend, Friday and Saturday at 7:30 at the amphitheater. So please go join them for some interesting talks and a little bit of outside ambiance.
Night at the Museum 1863 is this Saturday from 5:30 p.m. to 7:15 p.m. at the Gettysburg Heritage Center, 297 Steinway Ave in Gettysburg. Watch the museum come alive. Visit after hours for this exclusive journey through our exhibits where the stories come to life as you encounter popular Gettysburg civilians who were witness to the great tragedy of war. Tickets are $20 per person, $15 per child, family friendly, great for all ages.
John B says, I hate the tough skin on commercially bought tomatoes. Amen.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, John.
I will say Eric Houston's wife, Melissa.
Melissa Houston.
Yes, fantastic tomatoes.
Yes.
She was kind enough to give us some.
Mucho delicioso.
Yes.
Yes, Ralph.
The tough skin
Yes.
is because they use gas in the greenhouses to turn them red.
Wow. All right. The tough skin is because they have gas while they're in the greenhouses.
No, they use gas.
Oh, they use gas. Okay.
Farmer uses the gas.
Oh, the farmer uses. I get it. I
Not
get
the
it.
guy taking the exam has gas. The farmer uses gas.
I see.
To turn them red.
Okay.
They're from Canada.
Good to know.
That's why they suck.
That's why they suck, because they're Canadian tomatoes. Don't worry, we don't have Canadian listeners.
I am starving.
All right, let's go. Next one.
Cinema Under the Stars at the
Yes.
seminary. They're playing Psycho.
Yeah,
they are.
Oh no. On Saturday at 7 p.m. So
I would
come
tell
if
ya-
you want to watch Psycho.
Well, Psycho, and it is free. It's BYOB. Bring your own lawn chair as well or blanket. Also, they will have Latino Fusion Style is going to be there
Oh,
too. They're
yeah.
everywhere.
Well,
they
we're-
have Bantam Roasters coffee truck is going to be there. I believe Euro Bites, if I'm not mistaken, is still. They do have a musician.
I forget who.
Nick somebody, maybe. I could
Okay.
be totally wrong
Nick
by
somebody,
that.
welcome.
Nick somebody.
I apologize to the musician this weekend.
I know. I think the next month is our friend Sarah Foster, or Rebecca
In September,
Foster.
yes,
Yeah.
Rebecca Foster
Yeah.
will be there.
So last month was The Searchers.
Mhm.
The Searchers and Psycho both were my choices for Cinema Under the Stars. And I think they're fantastic movies. I made Cindy watch Psycho the other night. Did you? Have you ever watched Psycho?
Yes, I've watched.
Yeah. Does it bother you?
You didn't like it?
It does.
Why?
Really?
Yeah.
It's so tame. Yeah.
I think what it is the watching part of it. The like being watched.
Well, it's a movie.
The watching part of it.
No, like the
when
fact
he's
that
peeking
he's
through
watching
the.
her.
But that's just one
So
little
the
scene.
fact that when you
You
go to
know-
a hotel, perhaps behind a
Yeah,
mirror,
see, there's
yeah.
when we go out to dinner tonight, I'll tell you
Does
why
The
I have a
Shining
fear
bother
of
you
this.
the same way?
Yeah.
No, The
Oh, The
Shining does
Shi-
not bother me.
How
same
does
way.
The Shining not bother you and Psycho bothers you?
It's the watching. I'll explain when we
I don't
go.
know. Them little girls are creepy.
I'm too hungry
Yeah.
right
The
now.
Shining
Yeah.
is
And the blood out of
that's
the
a
elevator.
Oh,
psychological
yeah.
creeper.
Put him in
I
the
don't
cell
know
with a long
how.
hose on him. Put him in the cell with a long hose on him.
That's what he was saying, trying to get out of the room with that shotgun blown up chick in the bathtub.
Debbie's zipper sounds like somebody blowing their nose.
No, I thought it sounded like a bear.
A bear?
I wanted you to make it the bear.
See,
noise.
Colby, you missed it while you were gone. Debbie's zipper made this sound.
That is a crazy. It sounds like violent throw up.
It does. It does. It's violent throw up. Exactly.
I mean, like that's hitting the toilet bowl. Like there's no amount of time between it leaving your mouth and
No.
it hitting the water.
All right. All right. What else, girls? Because we do want to
That's
eat.
all. Yep, that's all.
All right. Good God in heaven.
Glad we talked about vomit.
We did. This was a pretty scatological show, and I apologize to the audience because we
No,
are
you
usually more adult.
And Pete was wonderful. I tell you, this town is full of
Guffaw.
really. This town is full of really great.
I know.
interesting
And then, no, none of them are going to come on again after the conversation about flatulence and vomit and
Listening
tomatoes.
with your rear.
It's too late. The damage is done.
Well, next week we have Chris Morano,
Oh, we do?
Realtor Chris Morano.
Oh, realtor extraordinaire, probably the greatest realtor ever
Yeah.
to walk the face of the earth, and especially the face of the earth in this area here. He's a good guy. You're gonna like him. He's been around before. I don't
he
think
was on the show in
he was
January.
on. Okay,
Sounds familiar.
January, so a long time
super
ago.
familiar.
you met him.
Yep.
He's the
You love
realtor,
his
but he's
business
also a
card.
musician.
I'm in love with him
He's
from
another
his business
boyfriend.
card. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh
Beth.
my God, I have so many boyfriends.
So many.
Yeah, you're.
So popular.
Married, right?
I am.
Look, he's trying to keep you in check, man.
But so are many of her boyfriends, so it's okay.
It's not that kind of boyfriend.
So are her boyfriends. That's funny.
It's not that kind of
Fits
boyfriend.
right in with the way some of the towns I've heard about. There's some of the stories I've heard about this town and the outlying areas.
What?
Well, what you told me about on the way to what kind of building is on the way to Chambersburg, just off on the side of the road. There's a building out. Mike knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, Miss Lindsay's.
Is that what it's called?
There
They
used
have a
to be.
name
It's
for it?
it's abandoned now. There's nothing there now.
There's one in Littlestown.
Yeah, that's.
See, how do you know that?
What is that
I
called?
pass it every day.
What's it called?
Sensation.
Sensations. Yeah, I wouldn't.
Just by the sign.
I would not. Just by going into Walmart, I would. I would not ever go there. All right. Thank you, Gilbert. All right. So, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to leave you. We've taken up so much of your time, but I thank you and I appreciate you watching the show and your continued support. Oh, by the way, we got news that, first of all, Monday on Ask a Guide, it's a special edition of Ask a Guide, our very own Ralph Siegel and Jesse Weedleton, and it's about, what is it? The realities of guiding. So this has nothing to do with the test. This assumes that you have your license already. What can you expect once you are a guide? We recorded this a while ago.
I did that?
Yeah. It was your idea.
No,
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. You You said we should do this because there's a lot of people freaking out there, and some of them, have these wild ideas. Let's bring them down to earth and ease their troubled minds.
Jamie just said that it's thunder and lightning outside.
It is. I heard it a couple times. That's wonderful.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I heard it.
Felt it in my tuchus. So we're going to go. That's what we're going to do. Ralph rocks, says John B.
We love Ralph.
We may get some of that weather tomorrow, says Malafunction, but he's all the way in Hawaii, so I don't know about that. That's the best sound effect in the history of the show. I'm assuming he's talking about the zipper. I'm not sure. Or maybe it is Gilbert Gottfried's laugh, but that's not our actual pull there. Glad I had a chance to drop by and say hi to y'all. Oh, wait. I guess that's not... Who the hell is that? Malafunction? Oh, I guess that must be... Is that Wade?
Ollie.
It's Ollie. Oh, he's just dropping by in the chat. I got it. Okay. All right. The Shining, the ghost bartender sounds like the best hallucination I could have if I were... Yeah, all right, good. All right, so that's what we're going to do, folks. We're going to go and eat. We're hungry. Where are we going to eat? Where's the cup?
There's only one place open.
Which place is that? Sheets?
Hotel California, baby.
Gettysburg.
The Gettysburgers. Oh, yeah, that's right. And we have our table.
Standing table and our waitress.
Clarice.
Gettysburg.
There you go. Well, it worked out anyway. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to the Gettysburg, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you over there. Next week, Chris Morano, realtor extraordinaire and beautiful-eyed man with a deep baritone voice. We'll talk to you next time. Have a great week. Happy Labor Day. Labor Day.
Is written and performed by Paul Southfield and the Mushroom Country Band. Bumper music is arranged and performed by Billy Webster and sometimes Gavin McLeod. AG Today is produced by Matt Calorie, Bethany Yingling, Debbie Jones, and Sydney Compton. Engineered by Colby Sumner and maybe sometimes someone else. Guest accommodations are provided by the guests themselves. We'll need a couple thousand patrons to be able to put people up in hotels. Speaking of patrons, maybe you'd like to become one. You'll find plenty of perks over there, not to mention hundreds of episodes that will help you further your Gettysburg and Civil War education. So go to patreon.com/Addressing Gettysburg. I'm Huevos Grande, the voice of Addressing Gettysburg. Thanks for listening.
McNerd.
I don't know what the heck you guys are talking about.
I usually take smaller bites.
This concludes our broadcast.
The mayor was there.